now we're transitioned over visually.
Yes, now we flash back to how all of this began. Hello,
Kids.
welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, and good time zone, everyone. I hope you're doing really, really well. Welcome to Extra Life Day 3. I'm really excited to be the first GM of today and to, I guess, cut my teeth on Blades in the Dark, which is a system I've never run before, but I've been really, really stoked to run for ages since I played it. And I am so delighted to have this wonderful crew crew literally, of players and characters to unleash on this spooky little city together. So why don't we do a quick little introduction-y roundy round of who all of y'all are, then I'll talk about who the heck I am, and then we'll go through some shenanigan-y things that we got to do. Starting on the list that I see, first for me is Kelly, Mr. Dorktales. Who are you? Where can we find you?
Good morning, I'm
intros
Kelly.
after this.
Okay, and not included. All right, hi, I'm Kelly. I use he and him as my pronouns. I'm excited to be here this morning because I'm going to be playing a character I'll introduce shortly. Sorry, I almost went into it by rote. Anyway, thank you for being here for Tabletop Appreciation Weekend. We are just below our 50% goal, which is pretty great for just the first of 2 weekend-long events, if not 3 weekend-long events. I'm very sleepy. I'm going to eat yogurt while we talk. If it gets noisy, let me know.
Sounds good. Yogurt consumption is one of my favorite experiences.
I'm going to go grab a lactose pill.
Ooh, always a good idea too. Also,
Smart.
one of my favorite experiences. Next on my list is Second Gen Gamer. How you doing?
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello. Who are you? What do you do? Where can we find you? How you feeling?
I'm
What's your
Robin.
star sign?
I'm a Leo.
Nice.
Yep. And yes, I'm Robin. I use she, her as my pronouns, and I almost started going into who I'm playing by rote as well. I am Trey tired. So I am waking up.
That's a great name.
Right?
Trey tired.
Oh my god, I'm gonna do it for a character at one point. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This has been an amazing weekend, and I'm looking forward to playing this game because, yeah, Kelly showed me the book one day and I was like, huh, this looks really cool.
I will say I think it is pretty darn cool.
Also,
so
I'm
next to
second
my QEQ as I see it would be Jacob. Who are you? What are your pronouns? Tell us about yourself. What's your star sign? Do you like bubblegum?
Hi, I'm Jacob. Pronouns are he, him. I'm also a Leo.
The sexiest son.
Doesn't love bubblegum.
You don't love bubblegum. Okay.
Who
fair
doesn't
enough.
love bubblegum?
Who doesn't? Okay. I was gonna be personally offended, so this is
A
good
lot
to
of
know.
people here
Thank
had
you.
braces, so maybe them. I don't know.
I did. Yeah, that's true. All right.
I have a retainer and I still eat bubblegum all the time.
Dentists hate him with this one easy trick.
So looping down on the order that I see stuff on Zoom. Sorry, you're drinking a beverage right now to put you on the spot. Hello, Tashi. Who are you? What do you feel about trucks and where do we find you?
Hi there, I'm Natasha. You can find me here on Twitch at Natasha Tuskovich Designs and also elsewhere on social media. I also like bubblegum and and bubblegum. Yeah, I'm really excited to play this game. It looks really cool. And I love the mechanics.
Awesome. Oh, and I should have included pronouns in that list of things I was asking you.
Wait, Tasha, what sign are you?
Pardon me?
What sign are you?
Oh, I didn't say.
Okay.
I feel like that sounds like a sign. All right. Christine, are you ready?
I
Because now we have several questions: trucks, bubblegum, appreciation, pronouns, sign. Choose your poison.
Hello, I'm Christine. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me as Lady Liliana on various things, including Twitch. My sign is Virgo.
The sexiest son.
Don't really love bubblegum personally because I have jaw issues, so chewing gets really sore after a while if I do bubblegum. However, I also played baseball with braces. I did eat a lot of bubblegum then because you get the big chew with all the shreds and you got the hairs wad in your cheek.
With that like really terrible joke in it every time they have to like unwrap.
And it lost its flavor really quickly.
It's disappointing. Yes, you have to eat more of it. You end up with this massive.
Yeah, so you had this massive and you could blow these
Yeah,
huge
yeah.
bubbles on the field. And they really hated that. I think
You
they
know what?
considered it a choking hazard because you were still kids.
It absolutely was, but it was glorious.
Choose my favorite bubblegum.
Sorry, you were saying something, Kelly?
I was gonna say, Jacob, your favorite bubblegum is Gushers, and it would have been Dr. Pepper Gushers if you are old enough to remember what those are or were American. Those things were
That
amazing.
sounds really good. I didn't even know that was.
I feel like
ever
we
an
never
option.
got those in Canada. What?
I
Oh,
like
man.
the little hard double bubbles. That would go. Sometimes you get a stale one.
Oh, the ones you have to like keep in your mouth like 20 minutes before you chewed it.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is
Oh god.
Those were
coffee
the
that
best
I'm-
bubblegum flavor.
So
Yes.
it took me forever to actually be able to blow a bubble. I tried for like as a kid, I could not do it.
You had to get the best bubblegum for it though.
Sorry, I'm just
Use your
adding
tongue.
ensure bubblegum is a part of this game to my GM notes.
Like Hubba Bubba tend to be the softest, easiest to blow bubbles with.
Hubba
Okay,
Bubba was what I was.
noted.
adapting
Double
Noted.
bubble could be
to.
hard because it got kind
Mhm.
of stiff sometimes.
Okay. I feel like I've learned so many things already.
And then
This is
there's
very
the
delightful.
tape gum.
Oh, yeah, I like
gosh,
the grape
yes,
tape.
I remember that. You just keep chewing on the thing and you end up with this
Yeah.
massive hell wad. Yes, it was fantastic. I should introduce myself
Matt.
too. Hello. I'm Mills or Millie. I am the GM, despite being very sleepy. And you can find me at twitch.tv/bunnyhearted and wherever bunnies are found doing cozy, comfy VTuber things. I'm so delighted to run the system. I cannot wait for it. Before we really dig into it, I want to do a little bit of an introduction of the world. The way I'm thinking of this is we'll talk about the setting, the players in it, y'all, and then we'll put our crew together and we'll go a little bit from there. But I feel that Duskwall is a pretty unique setting. And there's some parts of it that I want to make sure y'all are aware of before we start game, because one of them in particular is probably pretty important. So, dramatic mustache accents time. The city
There's
of
a
Duskwall.
filter for that.
Is there nice? The city of Duskwall was established over 1,000 years ago as a coal mining settlement on the cold north coast of Akoros. It's withstood the breaking of the world and attacked by titanic leviathans, massive fires, a plague, a civil war, and legions of angry ghosts. It's a community of survivors. I love the mustache. That's amazing. It's very, very densely packed inside a ring of immense lightning towers that protect it from the murderous ghosts of the blighted deathlands beyond, which means taking a train anywhere is an interesting experience. Every single square foot is covered in human construction of some kind, piled one atop another with looming towers, sprawling manors, and stacked row houses, dissected by canals and narrow twisting alleys, connected by a spiderweb of roads, bridges, and elevated walkways. One of the most important cities in the Imperium, since it's from its port that the metal steamships of the Leviathan Hunters are launched, which is the coolest job ever. The hunters brave the far northern reaches of the Void Sea, far out of sight of land in the darkness, to grapple with titanic demons of the depths and extract their precious immortal blood. A substance refined into electroplasm, the power source of civilization, and basically even worse and weirder oil. There's all-powerful noble families that operate these hunter ships, each commanded by someone in their line, and there's an awful lot of intrigue and shenanigans going on over there. It's probably the most important thing that's happening in there, but very important for y'all to know as players. Let me just make sure I can get to the right page here, because one thing I'm noticing about this book is that I have to jump all over the place. Do.
This is true.
So we talked about the cataclysm and the city being all squished together, but we did not talk about the unquiet dead. The cataclysm shattered the earth, banished the sun, so the sun never sets because the sun never rises. There is not a sun. It's deep, big, spooky. You probably need a lantern to get anywhere. And there's a little arcane spirit bell at the Bellwether Crematorium that rings whenever someone dies in the city. So those near the site of a death will hear bells, and spirit wardens who are wearing arcane masks and death seeker crows will come fly over to try to locate the body, and do a very specific attempt to purge it. Otherwise, it will come back as a ghost. But the city is very full of these ghosts. And the reason I wanted to mention that is because if you go around and murder people, everyone knows.
You know what?
Stab someone in the
Fair.
face, crows will come and squawk angrily above, and it's very, very obvious that there was something in this area.
So, in other words, knock them unconscious and stab them in such a way that they bleed out over a few hours
Mm-hmm.
and die when you're long gone.
I hear very good things about a canal system,
Oh.
Oh.
but I just wanted to make sure all of you were aware of that little bit of the setting. Does anyone have any questions about where we're set? Okay, awesome. Then I have a lot of questions about who you're playing. Kelly, can you tell us a little bit about Mr. Rich?
Mr. Rich, because of his taste for the finer things in life. He started out as a merchant, and through some bad trade deals has lost just about everything of value that he's had. It's fine. He crawled his way to the top before. He's doing do it again. He's basically a shaved bear stuffed into a suit. I'm still working on the accent, figuring out.
I was gonna say, I feel like is he played by Sean Connery and
He slowly was becoming so, yeah.
Extraordinary Gentleman?
In that long car, absolutely. So he's this huge. He's basically like a Cockney version of the Kingpin from Into the Spider-Verse. Is kind of how I picture the whole. That's why I don't have a neck today.
Okay, awesome. That sounds good.
Yeah, but he's like obsessed with like textiles. I love that.
That's fucking brilliant.
I love in this book that you have to have a vice, and I was like, oh, I could be a gambler or a whoremonger or like something like that, right? I'm like, and I look down and I'm like, oh, you can literally just say like the finer or luxury. So like, yeah, he'll totally knife a guy over like a ream of silk.
I love this. That's fantastic, and I cannot wait for you to do specifically that. And so, what playbook are you playing? Or cutter?
He's a cutter.
Okay, awesome. That means you're real good at winning fights and doing violent shenanigans. Some people real good at shenanigans. Wait, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, just saying. Do you want to know playbook powers? Because I took the one that was
Sure, yeah.
the ridiculous like superhuman strength one. Because why not?
What's that? Is it not to be I don't remember.
Not to be trifled with. It's
yeah,
the one
that was the
where
one
you
that
just,
I've played in this before.
Where you just like, oh, yeah, you just do something that doesn't make any sense, like rip a door off its hinges.
Yeah, because why not? You're not to be trifled with. Who does this door think that they are? Robin, who do you think you are? Tell us about
Who do you think you are? But yes, I'm playing Eliza Sullivan. Eliza Sullivan is a bit of a leech, which means she's a little bit of a alchemist, you might say. She's good at mixing them chemicals together. Whoa, my accent changed too. We'll figure her
Accents
out.
don't stabilize until 8:30. It's fine.
It's true.
Sounds good.
So she likes using them chemicals to sabotage. She's we might be Australian. We'll see, or Kiwi. We'll see on the accent there. But her alias is Silver. And she does she's a bit of a background from the underworld, which probably describes about her special ability, which she can choose a drug from her bandolier stock and basically secrete it through her skin or saliva or exhale it as a vapor to poison people.
So you sweat poison.
I sweat poison when I want to. Yeah, so she,
That sounds like
bit
a
of an
real neat
underworld.
trick.
Yeah, and she, her vice, she does like them pleasurable things. Her choice, she then generally goes for them drugs and other things, because obviously the alchemist, she likes trying new things to get that latest high, and that's probably again how she kind of got her venomous attributes.
Sounds good.
That.
Sounds a little bit like Silver's looking for an escape sometimes.
Yes.
All right. So, Jacob, tell us a little bit about Unlucky.
I'm Steve McKinnon. I chose the Hound, so I'm a scout. The power is when you gather information to locate target, you get +1 effect. When you hide in the prepared position, use camouflage, you get +1 to the roll to avoid detection. My vice is gambling. I'm called unlucky because
awesome.
I'm not good at it.
So the nickname is just from losing at gambling.
Yeah, pretty much.
I
Love
kind of
it.
love that. All right. Well,
Do you
speaking of
want our nicknames
losing
or
at
our real
gambling,
names?
spiders are terrible at gambling. I feel like both is good to have. But the nicknames feel like the more important ones. Like I feel like that's what you'd probably call each other for the most part when not on a job or something like that.
Can everybody just send them to me in Zoom chat and I'll update the frame?
That sounds good. They're also on the link that I sent in Discord before.
Perf.
So I put
Yeah,
a little
on the
list of all of
Google
y'all's
sheet.
with your alias and roles. And this is where I'll be tracking clocks and NPCs and all of the weird shenanigans that we come up to. Also, welcome Raiders. I hope you're having an amazing time. Thank you so much for popping by and supporting us in our cool extra live stream. Speaking of cool extra live streams, I don't know how this relates to spiders, but tell us about Zilf, Tasha.
I'm like, where's my microphone? I'm playing Zilphia Paleright, and nicknames would just be like Zilf or Zilfie, something like that.
Mhm.
Zilphia is fine for the frames. I'm playing a spider class, which is kind of a like keep track of what's going on and try to like sway it in the direction that you want it to be going. Yeah, this is a character who is kind of short and androgynous. Used to be kind of a top student, but definitely just like got bored, dropped out, and now lives a life of crime and making shit happen.
Sounds good. So does this mean do you come from a wealthy background if you were
Not
like,
really a
top student
wealthy
in
background, but
university?
probably like a merchant background or something
Yeah,
like that.
okay.
Something in the
So middle
middle.
class, and you got
Yeah.
by for a while on your own merits, and then
Definitely
those
didn't
merits-
have to drop out
Yes.
to pursue a life of crime, but yeah.
But I mean, it lets you be in charge of things, especially if you're a spidery mastermind.
Well, yeah,
speaking of-
and no one even has to know you were in charge, so it's great.
That's true, and that's true. Speaking of lurking in the shadows where no one knows what you're doing, can you tell us a little bit about Mist, Christine?
Oh, Mist is a lurk. So I was going to do slide originally, which is why the screen shows that, but I changed to lurk.
Magically, it's about to change.
Oh,
Quite
fancy.
mysterious.
But
Seriously covering the can I'm drinking from.
Mist is from an underworld background. I think she grew up poor, etc. Her vice is gambling, but not so much like games of chance, more like she gambles with her life on a regular basis. She goes for the high stakes adrenaline, waiting to the last moment, hiding in plain sight, while people who were looking for her walk right by her.
Okay, that
sort
sounds
of
like an
thing.
awful lot of fun.
But I think she's
Awesome.
a fairly small, delicate, waifish sort of woman.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I'm really delighted to meet all of you. Thank you for sharing all that stuff. We should figure out where the heck it is that we are set. So you also have a copy of the PDF, but if you go to page 254, you'll get a giant map of the city. And I can talk a little bit about what all of the districts look like if you want like a quick overview.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's start from top to bottom, which is the backwards order of my list. Hang on. Do.
Is it T21?
It is 254, I think.
I don't know how I got that number.
Could someone
Mhm.
reshare the book?
I can pin it in the Discord if you want.
Discord? That would be.
It is just above the photos in the Discord.
Ew, okay. I can find it.
So if you
There's
look for
also
photos,
a
it is
really
Oh,
literally
yep,
the
found it. Yep, found it. Thank
I'll pin it. I'm also going to
you.
pin the link to the SRD because something really amazing about this system is that there's an SRD. You can just find the rules online. It's quite nice.
Hi Gog. Thank you for saying that in the
Oh,
chat.
hi, Gog. Hey, it's really good to see you.
Because
Gluten
that is
Morgan.
you just gave me another slice of my character's personality because I looked up and just pictured saying that in Cockney. It's flawless. I love it.
Also, it's really good to see you. Hi, Gog. I hope you're doing well today. All right, so looking at the map from top down, sitting there to the north across the Northwick Channel, we have White Crown. As the name might imply, these are the sprawling estates of the Lord Governor, the Hunter Commander, the Master Warden, and the Duskwall Academy. So Tasha, this may have been where you went to school. And you're welcome to be sat here if you want to be, but it is the very, very fancy place. Going down below that, we have the Docks and Brightstone. The docks are full of rough taverns, tattoo parlors, fighting pits, and warehouses. Brightstone is the grand mansions and luxury shops of the wealthy elite. It's interesting that they're so close to the docks and Crowsfoot. Interesting. Speaking of Crowsfoot, though, Crowsfoot is sort of the default setting area for this, but that doesn't mean you have to go there. It's an especially cramped neighborhood of multi-level streets that's specifically ruled by gangs. There's also Silk Shore over there to its left, which is the Red Lamp District, and it's full of cool artists. There's Chatter Hall to its right. It's the city's civic offices and the hub for shops and commerce. Six Towers over there is the formerly rich district that's now sort of falling apart. You've got Char Hollow, which is a very crowded district of tenements and stacked houses. Barrow Cleft way off over there on the side, which is residences, markets for farmers who work the fields and that sort of location. Then you got the Night Market, which is the trade center for exotic goods imported by rail. The rail station is here as well. We were originally planning for this game to be like a heist on a train, but I wanted to take a step back and do a more chill game where we're establishing who we are, where we are, and what we want to do. You could go in that area too if you wanted to, but you are not required to do so. Full Ridge, which I totally forgot about, is the remnants of Duskwall's original hilltop mining settlement, and it's full of laborers and industrial factories. Did any of those feel inspiring to you? I guess it's Dunslow too, but it's like way down there.
Out of those, starting at, which was the one with all the tattoos? Crowsfoot, Docks. Crowsfoot or Docks? What was Char Hollow again? That was the one that was mostly burned down, right?
Char Hollow is a crowded district, so it's like a really, really densely packed residential district.
Okay.
So probably not there.
Yeah, the docks is pretty neat. I can go into more details on these as well. I have a district cheat sheet. So
I feel like we don't have any money and we suck.
There. We're gonna go through that shortly. We'll find out.
I'm also down for the Crowsfoot or Docks. I kind of like the sound of both of those.
Well, why don't I talk a little bit about the docks here, and I'll send you the district sheet as well once you've chosen, just so you have a copy of it. Dramatic voice time. The Docks of Duskwall are ancient, going back to the days before the Cataclysm, in the area which is a small settlement trading with the Skav Kingdom to the northwest. Today, some commerce has shifted to the new electro rail lines of the Imperium, but the docks are still bustling with cargo haulers, fishing boats, and the prestigious Leviathan hunter ships, which provide the raw material that keeps the city running. Of course, all manner of other goods are transported through here as well. There are some notable factions here. So the Grey Cloaks, which is a crew of former Bluecoats, so previous cops that have turned to crime. Apparently they were framed and expelled from the City Watch. The Fog Hounds, which is a crew of really rough smugglers who somewhat unofficially work for a particularly fancy lord. And the Dockers, who are hard-bitten laborers who work the docks. There's a bunch of cool, notable locations like taverns and old-fashioned estate houses and tariff places and all of the kind of cool dock stuff you would find. There's also a bare-knuckle boxing venue, so there is that. Currently, there's a little bit of a proxy war going on in the location. For the default setting zone, where is... Oh my gosh, the order of this thing.
Sorry, we were debating between Crowsfoot and the Docks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like both of those. I
Oh.
like Crowsfoot.
Yeah, sure. So Crowsfoot, I haven't gone through yet. It's actually not in my cheat sheet because it's the default one, but I can pull it up here. Running the game. There we go. So in Crowsfoot, basically there is a ongoing scuffle between the Lampblacks and the Red Sashes, and that scuffle has exploded into open war in the streets, with your crew poised to profit from it. Essentially, Rorik, the ward boss who ran the criminal operations in Crowsfoot, has been killed, and people are saying that it was his second-in-command, Lissa, who did it. So we could do the default start. I feel the docks... I think I'm leaning towards the docks, but it's really up to you.
I'm kind of liking the dock myself.
Sure. Yeah.
Do those factions sound interesting to deal with at the docks?
Yeah,
For
it'll be-
ex-cops, rough
Mhm.
smugglers, and basically labor unions.
yeah.
So what's happening right now is the Hive, which is another faction, and Lord Strangford, who sort of runs the rough smugglers, are fighting a proxy war for control of the docks and contraband that comes in and out using the Grey Cloaks and the Foghounds' Cat's Paws, respectively. The stalwart men and women of the Dock Workers Union are caught in the middle. And you could be a crew that seeks some profit in this by supporting one of the factions or betraying one of the factions or any of that sort of circumstance.
Let's steal stuff.
Let's do theft.
Yeah, let's
Let's
do
do
some
lots of
stuff.
theft.
Okay, awesome. And it sounded like y'all wanted to be shadows, which is thieves, spies, and saboteurs. We could change that. Y'all could be assassins or vice peddlers or something like that. Stealing feels like the default approach. Hmm? It is fun to do.
Always interesting to see.
You got your little bicycle on the tiny streets. Yes, this is the best. Penny farthing. In this economy, a whole penny. Goodness gracious.
Wow.
It's pretty abstracted, so sure.
I realized because I was typing, I'd had myself muted for the chat and not for you guys.
Ah,
just trying to
okay.
put out
I
a
was
Twitter post.
wondering.
I was trying to
So
figure
let
out
me-
No.
who was typing because I was like, nobody's thing is
Sorry.
lighting up, but holy crap, that's loud.
Right?
Sorry. It's because I muted the chat so they wouldn't hear my mechanical keyboard.
Well, now
so
we
I made
know.
a joke.
Now we
I
know.
love peddling. I've got a penny farthing. There, you caught up on the joke. And then I can't
Okay,
afford a penny
okay.
farthing, so it's a quarter penny farthing.
Wait, so
There you
chat missed this entire thing. They just heard our response to it with no
To me,
context
yeah.
whatsoever. This is
We're great.
wonderful. This is great. All right, so let's say that you're crew shadows then. Let's do some thievery, spying, and sabotage. That feels like a good way to go to get ahead in a bunch of like smugglers and ex-cops who are vying for control of the area. I think we can make this happen. We have a whole pile of little bits of character creation to do that I think we can do pretty darned quickly. So, if you want to follow along through creations on page 92, but I can run y'all through it real darned quick. Do. So,
For
shadows,
crew.
thieves, and spies. Excellent, excellent. So, we choose an initial reputation and layer. So,
Ooh.
I guess we should figure out a name as well. Do you have an idea for what you want this crew to be called?
Oh,
You're a newly
God.
formed crew, but perchance you all know each other and have worked together for a while.
So we're shadows?
Mhm.
Ooh! I just googled name the Blades in the Dark crew names. The Velvet Murmur, the Purple Knives, the Bloody Phantoms, the Grand Revenants.
Velvet Murmur.
Velvet
Yeah, I like that
Murmur
first one.
sounds.
Velvet Murmur is great.
So whoever added that to that forum, you win in my book, my friend.
All right, y'all are now the Velvet Murmur. So, from the list on the right, what sort of reputation do you have? Do you have a reputation for being ambitious, brutal, daring, honorable, professional, savvy, subtle, or strange?
What does savvy mean in this context? Savvy.
Clever, full of wits.
Okay.
I would say we're maybe like strange.
Don't think
Yeah.
we're professional. Let's put
I
it
would
that
say
way.
potentially daring, maybe
Yeah.
subtle.
I
I don't
feel
think we're honorable.
strange describes all of us.
Not
You're not that
Strange.
strange
Excuse
for
you.
the setting,
Ambitious
No.
could be good. Daring could be good. I like ambitious
Mhm.
and daring. I like
Yeah,
savvy too.
daring.
My eye. Hungry.
though. Hungry.
I like it.
Yeah.
Hungry implies like 3 of the other ones, but is also a little
It does,
wolfish.
yeah. So I guess it's like a particularly toothy ambition. Does that sound all right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll put
Yes.
hungry
Yeah.
on the sheet, but I'm gonna
Like,
Great.
do you need to know one of these specifically for the mechanics?
sorta.
Damn
It's
it.
not. I mean, I like hungry though. I wrote hungry down. Do hungry.
Okay.
Hungry's great.
So what do you-
I just
what do you guys
also
wanna-
put ambitious in brackets.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm probably ambitious in brackets.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like hungry to
hungry.
me feels like you want something. The stuff
Yeah.
that you
Put
want
us
to
in these
consume.
brackets.
You've got this like, burning need to get it. You have this hunger at the core of you. All right, let's talk a little bit about your layer. So your layer starts at tier 0, so it's probably pretty modest or abandoned.
I like the small abandoned house at the end of a dark lane.
Small
one.
abandoned house in a dark lane sounds adorable.
Yeah.
The example list that they have is a half-sunken grotto, an abandoned watchtower, unassuming back rooms of a merchant's shop, small abandoned house, a rickety tin-roofed shack perched on a rooftop, or a junked rail car, which probably doesn't make the most sense here, but like a wrecked ship, something like that totally would.
We've done wrecked ship in other games like this before. And like we had a submarine for one game that we did off stream.
That sounds amazing.
I
What
like
was your
grotto
game? It
and
was
I
your
like
game. It was your
backroom.
sprawl game.
Oh my gosh, that's right, the sprawl.
Yeah,
that was
from
fun.
3.5 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago. God,
Goodness,
time is
that
an
was
illusion.
a long time ago. Yeah.
I'm down with the house at the end of the lane.
Okay.
Are all the streets named in this
Small
game? Because I'm
abandoned
noticing
house
they,
in a
they did a
dark
lot of
lane.
world building.
I don't think so, but some of them are, and I'm going to send you the district thing in a moment here. Actually, I
So-
should probably do that before we continue too much.
So we're in the
on
we
this.
picked docks, right?
Hang on.
Yes.
Yeah, so hang on.
So there-
I'm going to send you the district's cheat sheet that I have.
Okay, cool. There, you can also read a little bit more about it on page 268 of the book.
Oh my gosh, this thing is 35 megabytes. Goodness.
All the bites.
The docks have a place called the Menagerie.
Yeah.
A fen. I won't get pet. We need a mascot.
Yep.
We could use
We need a mascot that with fur and claws.
Honey badger?
No. But potentially a British badger because they're polite.
Soft muddy fields. Ooh.
A ferret. Because they're good,
No,
like,
we-
sneaky creatures.
We just did the fairy ferrets.
Ferrets? They're not very sneaky. They're pretty
Ferrets?
Oh,
Well,
I'm thinking weasels.
Sanity.
I'm thinking weasels.
yeah, you're thinking weasels. The ferret's black sheep cousin.
Yes.
That does sound like fun. Okay, so we have a small abandoned house at the end of a
Honey
dark lane for
badgers.
this
Always honey
particularly
badgers with you and Chris.
this particularly hungry crew called the Velvet
Jacob,
Murmur,
blink.
which is really
Okay,
fun
cool.
to say.
I thought you were frozen. I thought you were frozen.
All right.
Because you were just so,
So let
still.
us
I'm like, oh god.
let's determine your hunting grounds. You've chosen the docks, so we know what district we're in. But some small part of the district is sort of your tiny slice of territory. So on the PDF that I just sent you, it should have the district map broken down a little bit more. Is there an area in there? So we've got Plume Street, Carter Street, Ink Lane, Salford Street, or the Northwick Way, or you can just choose a corner. Like there's numbers there to sort of relate to some of the specific areas.
Who, does anybody feel like they haven't had as much of a say in development yet? Because if so, maybe take a point.
I feel like we're probably in section 5. Seems like the easiest one to get
Okay,
out of.
so, like, sticking out
Yeah,
there
that's all-
on the so it's a very industrial area. You've got I think that's where the Strangford Trading Company operates. It's a very hotbed spot, so an
Yeah,
interesting location to be for sure.
Oh, controlled by one of their founding families, though. It could be really dangerous.
The Strangford Trading Company. Lord Strangford is heavily involved in this area. You might
Or
have
Jacob, do you want to be
rob
close
him.
to the number 1 on the map? Is
I was
close
thinking
to
the tavern for
is
gambling.
near the broken anchor.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. That might be easier for everybody.
There's also
just to-
the Pint and Hound down there in the south, which is interestingly a boxing venue. And it's
Oh.
encouraged that local factions resolve disputes here instead of stabbing each other in the streets like they do just to the south.
Well, what about if we're looking at this map? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you see number 6?
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay.
it's like a little park to the north of it, I
Oh.
think.
That's actually
Yeah,
a better
so-
map than that's in the book.
Yeah, it's probably from an expansion. Okay, you see the Plume Street Bridge?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, if you follow the coastline over, there are 4 little houses in a row there.
Yeah.
How about one of those, or the one right across from it to the north, next to that field?
That sounds
'Cause I'm not-
perfect.
Yeah, one of those sounds perfect.
So it's nestled. It's right next to the water. If someone needs to swim, you probably get eaten by something if you swim in the water.
Sounds good. I'm also realizing more. You could technically
Sometimes
hunt
you need
outside
someone
of
to get
here,
eaten by
outside of the
something.
district if you want. Although if you have your lair in that area, that's certainly good for safety, and you're a pretty small crew, so maybe that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the
Doesn't
test
make sense in
so
this
patches,
mixed up
which
world.
faction claims the area, decide how to deal with them. So I think in that area between the factions, I think the one that's going to be the most influential in that particular spot, because they're sort of away from the docks, but you're away from the fancy area, is going to be the Grey Cloaks. So you're sort of in the edge of Grey Cloaks territory in the district. So these are the former cops who turned to crime after being framed. So
Ain't it nice
You have a
when
few-
someone's honest about themselves?
exactly. You have a few options on how to deal with them. So I think you start with a little bit of coin. I don't remember how much you start with. I think you begin with 2 coin. Yes. But you can give them 1 coin in exchange for giving you a room. Give them 2 coins to gain a status with them. Or keep your money and take -1 status with the faction.
How many coins do we get?
2, I think.
You start with 2.
Is that as the crew or per person? That's total,
I think
isn't
it's crew. This is
That's
about
total.
This
crew.
is in the
Yeah.
crew creation section of the book.
Yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah.
So we have to decide if we want to either be on like amicable terms or good terms or bad terms with the crew. I would say probably maybe give them 1. We keep 1 coin and then we just
Okay.
we have an agreement if everyone agrees with that.
We respect them,
Yeah.
but we ain't owned by them.
Exactly.
Sounds good to me. So this is going to be Southern Docks.
Oh wow! I've just opened the website you sent for the first time because I've been like,
It's great, isn't it?
this
It's
is
got so
just
much stuff on it, right?
Great, isn't it?
It's a pretty neat setting for
in
this.
it.
In it.
Okay, so where is
Oh, this
where
is
the heck is
lovely.
coin on this?
Why can't
Doesn't
all
really
role-playing
say.
games have a website like this?
And there's later on, it gives you more options to spend coin.
Your crew begins with 2 coins in its coffers.
Uh,
The remains of the PC saving. Your tier 0 with a stronghold and 0 rep. So it's under Q's crew type.
Oh, there's coin. It took me forever to find it. There we go. You also have vaults, which can be pretty neat. So at the moment, so you spent 1 coin to get like basically room and board, but you're not paying them off, but you haven't stiffed them either, so they're pretty neutral towards you right now. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So that's fantastic.
Where are the
Choose a special ability. So, your little crew has a special ability as shadows. You've got a whole bunch of ones to choose from. I'm going to go through them real quick. You've got everyone steal, so each PC may add an additional action rating to prowl, finesse, or tinker. So this means all of you are a little bit more adept at stealing things. You can take ghost echoes. So this is the remnants of a weird experience or occult ritual. All crew members gain the ability to see and interact with the ghostly structures, streets, and object with the echo of Duskwall that exists in the ghost field. So you're all a little bit in tune with the supernatural. You can take pack rats. So your lair is basically a hoarder's jumble of stolen items. When you roll to acquire an asset, take an extra die for it because, yeah, you can have a patron. So when you advance your tier, it costs half the coin. I don't know if this makes the most sense for one shot, but it does going
Yeah.
forward. I think patron could be really powerful. You can have a second story, which allows you to have access to the rooftops. You get +1 die in your engagement roll, so sort of the initiation roll when doing a spooky infiltration. You can have slippery. So when you're doing some entanglement shenanigans, you can roll twice, keep the one that you want, which is really, really good for reducing the heat, as well as you get an additional die for reducing the heat. Or you can take synchronized. So you're all really in tune with each other. When you perform a group action, you can count multiple 6s from different rolls as a critical stick. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I
I
should
think
explain how group actions work.
That sounded
Basically,
pretty great.
you can roll to support each other. It's pretty darned powerful. My notes, my own cheat sheet for it. Hang on, where's the rolls? Dun, 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 dun. Teamwork. There we go. So let's say, for example, you do setup, which is when you support another person's action. It improves their position or effect of another roll. It's free and amazing. Very, very, very worth on it. Or you can basically all of this stuff you have options to roll dice for, and being able to do lead groups so everyone makes a roll and you still get crits on it from everyone's dice independently is a fantastic improvement.
Oh, what dice system is this game?
So it
D6s.
uses D6. You probably only need 2 or 3, but of course that could be wildly incorrect because maybe you'll get a whole bunch of bonuses. So we can use Roll20 for it if we want to, but I trust y'all to roll dice. You know what you're doing.
We love
Do any of
the
those feel
cakes.
particularly on point? Do you feel particularly synchronized, or like everyone's a thief, or do you feel particularly spooky?
I mean, I like the one where Millie was like, "Oh fuck, this could
Yeah.
be disgusting."
Synchronized seems quite good.
Right?
This means you're all really in tune with each other.
Also, that encourages cooperation between all of us.
For
Yes,
a one
it
shot,
does.
that's key.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I would
think
say
so too.
synchronized.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
synchronized.
awesome. Let's get an upgrade. So this is a valuable asset that helps your crew in some way. It's like a boat, or you have like a gang underneath you. So you have 2 pre-selected upgrades to suit the crew, and then you get 2 additional upgrades to your new crew. So you have a total of 4 upgrades when you start. So right now we have hidden and prowess training. So that's pretty darn useful. But we could also take like a boat or carriage layer, or secure a place, or have a workshop. All sorts of stuff like that. We can have thief rigging, or underground maps and passkeys, or there's a huge potential list here. I wonder if there's a better list somewhere in the book I should be taking a look at.
It doesn't look like.
I need 2 upgrades. Do you want to tell you about 2 factions are impacted by your choices, right? So that, of course, makes sense.
Rigging could be
Get an
pretty
upgrade
good.
and they don't like you. Get -2 status with
You-
them.
you
Oh,
get
nice.
2
I like
free
that one of these is
load.
like someone really likes you for this, and someone really hates you for this.
I love that. What was that one?
So that's just what happens with upgrades. Crew advancements. Where's the list of upgrades? Darn.
So rigging's pretty good. We get 2 free load on in 2 of the equipment categories: weapons, implements, supplies, gear, documents, tools. Prison contacts. It's okay.
I like covert drop too. That seems useful.
Oh my gosh! Literally, I just needed to scroll down very slightly to find the
Are
list.
there
of them.
are there more?
Yeah, it's on page 95, but there aren't many of them here. And then there's some that are on the shadows, like the actual playbook as well.
Yeah, I'm on page 117. I don't know if that helps anyone.
It definitely does.
117.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not on there at all. What's on that one?
Oh, those are
I-
shadow. These we're doing claims right now, right?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yes. Well, we're doing our little upgrades first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go back a page, it starts on page 116.
Oh, okay. Our shadow upgrades. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So the thief rigging, underground maps and passkeys, elite rooks, elite skulls. Oh, okay. So some nice cohort stuff. I guess. Do y'all have like a crew with you, or is it just you?
Oh, I like informants too.
Informants could be very, very.
Oh,
good.
come on. We got to take tavern.
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Yes.
Oh, actually,
got- you
consort and sway. Yes, 100%. I like those.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's-
Do you have a little
so you have-
tavern?
We have a tavern, and then what? Interrogation chamber and lookouts. Really good. A loyal fence is also loyal fence.
Yeah,
Plus
loyal
2 coin on a
friends.
on a
No,
heist.
I'm not into loyal fence. I'm
Okay,
into
that
some of
sounds
the other ones.
fantastic. You're not into loyal fence?
No, I like informants. I like tavern.
Well, yeah, but but if you get one of those,
Mm-hmm.
We
I
have
guess loyal
4.
fence is a significant improvement on payouts after a job, right?
but what about gambling den?
Payouts though, or are we only doing one job?
Mm-hmm. Well,
I mean,
maybe. Who knows? We'll find out.
What about gambling den? We've got a gambler. We've got drug den.
I do like gambling den and drug den just because we have those vices in the group.
Yeah.
But so how many of these do we get? We get 3 of these, or
You get 2 of them.
we get 2 of them?
2 of
Okay.
Yeah. So are we all good for tavern?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Secret pathways sounds adorable.
I don't-
Hagfish farm? What the heck?
Yeah, I like secret pathways too.
So it means the hagfish farm is like a pig farm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You
Ah.
can use the reduce heat downtime activity, yes, to make it a little bit
God,
more
hagfish
quiet.
are so ugly.
Understandable. Mm-hmm.
Why don't we do? Okay. Do we want to have a? I feel like we should have the other one should be like so. The tavern's somewhere we go. The other one should represent someone that we work with or pay off.
Informants.
Informants is
Sure.
okay. I'm also looking at infirmary, having a doctor on the take, because you don't.
yeah,
There's no
always
magic
quite
healing.
useful.
I don't mind that.
Everyone
And
feel
Tosh,
okay about
I gotta
infirmary?
say, even though we're butting heads on a couple things, I appreciate that you're assertive about what you want
Mhm.
because it makes choice much easier in a group setting where it's, well, I'm gonna be Canadian about this and be like, yeah, whatever you want. And it's like, no, fuck you.
Okay, but
Fuck
let's
you,
go
I don't
back.
want
Speaking of being
that.
Canadian, sorry to interrupt. How does everyone feel about infirmary?
I like infirmary.
Infirmary,
Everyone
you know
cool
what?
with it?
Informants could be good too, though. Like,
See, I was looking at person. I was looking at lookout because that'd be good too.
I don't mind lookout either.
Mhm.
all right, look out,
Okay.
Christine, you good? Then?
Lookouts?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so lookouts in tavern. That's great because we can be drinking at the tavern, playing some gambling in the
And
back
they have
room, and someone
some
comes in.
lookouts.
Yep.
Miss
Okay, awesome.
Shelby, they're coming.
We'll figure
The
out who the lookout
Bobby's
is
age.
shortly because I think
All
that
right,
might
then
be
we like do
particularly
the thing where we
useful.
like turn all the like secret chests around, and suddenly it's like regular.
Of course, you have to.
Yeah.
You're like
Fuck that, I'm running out the back
basically
door.
legally required to. Okay, awesome.
Right.
So we have a crew upgrades. So this is going to
Sorry, we
influence your
blocked that with stolen
reputation a
merchandise.
little bit. So,
that was
one
claims,
function
right?
helped you get an upgrade. That was crew upgrades.
Did we take any like? Okay, that was crew upgrades. So we didn't want to take anything like increasing our load or stuff like that. Like from the shadows upgrades.
Mm.
Which one's increasing your load?
So
Oh, the
page
rig-
116
Thief rigging. Yeah,
is actual
that-
stuff that
plus
affects
two to
us
load for
versus
tools
like
and gears.
our lair.
I see the other. Yeah, you're right. So the other one that I'd really like is thief rigging.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah, so I'm
having
much more
ex-
inclined to that. Because
Overload.
honestly, our lair is not necessarily going to affect us that much in a one-off game.
That's fair.
You might be surprised. It depends on how
I mean,
the
it
game
might,
goes.
but also being able
like
to carry 2
Underground
free
Mouse
load is
Huskies.
pretty
If
amazing.
someone donates $25 right now, can we have all three?
Absolutely.
Hey, folks, guess what? It's your turn
I'm
to help a sick
extremely
kid.
easy to bribe. This is a Blades in the Dark game. I am extremely corruptible.
I'm glad I could carry more stuff.
So yeah, is that the 2 free loads per person?
I think it's for the crew.
Oh, we got a donation. That was,
you
that
got
was
a
amazing
reroll.
and quick.
Thank
What's
you,
that?
thank you. Easily
kinda got a
manipulated
reroll.
audience. I love you.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Who did?
You
got a
got a reroll, Kelly.
Oh,
Nice, nice. That'll be
Well, thank-
particularly useful, I think.
thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm gonna mark down thief rigging just for funsies. So we have that right now, tavern and lookouts, and don't worry about it. It's fine. So, let's take a step back and talk a little bit about the factions. here.
Wait, what upgrades did we get?
Lookouts,
thief rigging,
tavern,
which
and
gives
thief
you-
rigging.
Yeah, I'll send you all the character sheet for the crew at the end of creation. So there's 3 factions here that are quite active. One of them helped you set this up. Was it the former cops, the rough smugglers, or the labor union?
Smugglers or labor union?
Yeah, I'd say probably smugglers.
Yeah,
Feels
I'd say
right.
smugglers.
Okay,
Smugglers.
awesome. So that will give you a +1 status with them, or you can spend a coin to repay their kindness and get +2 status with them, but then you'll be dead broke.
Can I ask a quick question? How much
Mm-hmm.
are you bribable for thief rigging?
I don't
we already
know.
had
Pretty
thief rigging.
easily bribed. I don't know. I'm a very corrupt
Well, yeah, but we have
GM.
someone-
I would say at least like a somewhat significant donation. More than $20.
Understood.
I still don't understand what we need another one for.
Oh, I
Because
see.
we
Dork
only
Knight.
get-
Well, I am extremely corruptible. So.
How much money to get more gold?
That's a good point. Can we get another coin?
We're just gonna like skip doing any actual
Guys,
scores.
we gotta
Y'all
steal
just
stuff in
fleece
order
the
to get more
audience
coins.
instead.
I mean, it is extra life. Have fleece
It
the
is
audience.
fleecing the
Yeah,
audience for
that's-
charity.
That-
Absolutely.
what you didn't know the entire time is we were
Oh,
feeding
look.
you.
We
for
suddenly have thief
children.
rigging for $25 paid by a mysterious.
How
Oh, my name's right there.
mysterious and wonderful. Okay, brilliant.
So I bumped
thought we already
Tasha
had
up.
thief rigging. Can someone explain?
You weren't paying attention. We only got 2. I made a negotiation that we get a third if someone donates.
Yeah.
So Kelly
So
donated.
you're-
Oh,
So I
so
don't
stuff
even-
like
we
the
were supposed to only have
infirmary
2, but
and the
yeah, now we have
tavern
3.
counted as part of the 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So we
Yes.
have lookouts, thief rigging, and tavern
All
because I
right.
just bought thief
So-
rigging.
And I would just
Circling.
like to confirm: is it 2 for the crew for thief rigging, like, or do we each now get 2 extra loadout?
No.
I believe it's 2 for the crew, which
Okay.
is
I
still
believe-
quite powerful.
Yeah. That's
It's
cool.
interesting
You
because they
can
really
share
don't
'em.
say, because they just for example, you could carry this and this for 0 load. I was
Mhm.
like,
I think it
you're
has
not
to do with like
indicating.
I feel like
I
that's
think-
got to be like individually though, right? Because otherwise, how are you even dividing that?
I don't know. Let's find out. It's probably during the heist phase. They probably explain
Yeah,
it.
I will say I
probably.
think that will make sense as we go ahead because you'll be choosing load shortly. Well,
Okay,
shortly-ish.
cool.
All right. So
Cool.
So the faction that helped you was the smugglers, right? So right now you have
Yes.
1 coin remaining. Do you want to spend it to get in their real good books, or just get a little bit in their good books because you let them help you set it up?
Just a little bit. I think we're
Okay, so you still have
Pretty-
$1. That's good.
yeah. We have
Yeah.
$1.
You might
Do
need it.
I left my coins in the closet.
always fog hounds, fog hounds,
Foghorn? Leghorn?
fog hounds.
I have so many
I
tabs
wish
open right
this
now.
was organized differently. There they are.
So, Blades in the Dark
Here it
is
is,
one of
plus
the
1.
highest voted things on our Patreon for our off stream games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and this outfit is not as warm as I thought it was. That's all I'm saying.
This outfit is way too warm.
I really like
this
cannot
thing.
edit the status column on them, so I'm going to put a +1 next to the name. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
And Tasha, is that your hair or a wig?
That is a wig.
Mhm.
Honestly?
It looks really good.
I was about to say, like, it's hard to pull off that cut, but you work it. Very few people we know can do that.
No,
Speaking of
every time I
things
put
that are
on a
hard
wig this
to
short, I go,
pull
oh,
off.
I look like my mother. There we go.
Yes. So, when you got this upgrade, you screwed over one of the other factions, either the ex-cops or the labor union.
The
They
cops.
really don't like you for this. You'll get a -2 status with them, or you can spend a coin to try to win them over a little bit and only be at -1.
I would spend the coin to only be at -1.
No, I think we're just gonna screw with the cops.
Didn't we set up in the cops section though?
Yeah, we set up in the cops.
Yeah,
section.
we
already
we
made
have an
friends with
amicable
them.
relationship. We gave them a coin to be
Like,
in
let's
an
not fuck
amicable...
over the cops.
Yeah.
I say the union people.
yeah.
Yeah, you
we don't
screwed
have
over the
any
labor union.
Screw the
relationship.
union.
Yeah.
I mean, you opened a tavern here. Maybe this is competition for the one up in their area, and they're
Yeah.
kind of miffed at you for it.
I agree.
Sounds good. So the Doctors Union is at -2, and they really hate you. I'm gonna put a star next to like the important organizations here. They're all listed here, which is quite neat, and also very strange. Where are Grey Cloaks?
Wait, how did
My
we tell
lighting
that we
on.
set up in whose territory?
We just sort of figured that made the most sense location-wise, and then that
Oh,
was how
okay.
we figured
It
out the
wasn't
reputation
something
for
we
you
read,
getting
okay.
established for your little like tiny tavern outpost thing that you have. So let's take a look at your favorite contact. You take a look at your list of personal contacts on the crew sheet. Choose one contact who's a close friend, longtime ally, or partner in crime. I will tell you about 2 factions that are impacted by your choice. So your contact list, there is a list of contacts here already. So there is an explorer, a blue coat, so an actual cop, a broker, a collector, a noble, or a tavern owner. So this would, I guess, be the other tavern.
And this is contact?
One who's like really close with y'all. Or you can come up with
mean-
another one too.
I
We can just
mean-
invent one wholesale.
Being shadow-handed nobles for the dock owner, like on the southwest, might be pretty good.
Sure, so you mean the one that's here?
Yeah, is that
You mean,
smart,
like,
or is that...
I mean, I
yeah,
like
yeah, totally.
deal
So that would
broker
be being
too,
in good with
especially-
Lord Strangford. You could do that.
Deal broker could be good, especially because we didn't pick that other option that would have been the fence one.
Those are the default ones for shadows, but we can fully pick another one like Lord Strangford himself, or invent a character wholesale.
So where are we finding this portion of the
So
I'm
this
on
is
page
on-
116.
116? Okay.
Yeah.
It's page 94 in the main PDF, but the list of current example contacts is on the first page of the Shadows playbook, but I'll send that your way when it's done. Mostly just need to know what sort of contact you have. The way that this impacts play is that this will also affect faction status.
So what were our options again? What were the options you think are the most fun for a one-shot, and kind of the idea you have?
I think having a contact with a cop, like the blue coat, makes a lot of sense. Having a broker or collector makes a lot of sense because you could easily get scores from them.
I'm down
Maybe
with that.
folks who
'Cause
know
then,
to look
then
for
I,
something.
then you're forced to do a Benicio del Toro accent.
Sure. So is that the collector or the broker?
The collector.
The collector. Brilliant. This is Fitz, the collector.
Fitz?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I will say that they're quite dramatic. So of those factions before, one faction really likes them, and they like you for liking them. Is it the Dock Workers Union? Is it the ex-cops? Or is it the smugglers?
The collector and the smugglers are best buds.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Does the collector... And the collector is a great place for us to work with the smugglers and get, like, you know, drugs for silver and whatever else people are into.
Sounds good.
Velvet. You like
Is
velvet.
real
Fine fabric.
miffed- Yeah, exactly,
And we're-
exactly. Who's real miffed at
and-
you for working with this collector?
What are the do we have options for that, or we make
It's
it
the
up?
same faction, so it'll either be, I guess if the smugglers like you for it, either the ex-cops or the labor union hates you for it.
The labor union hates it because
Yeah.
they work the
They
docks.
really
so-
hate you.
Yeah,
Smugglers work
just
overtime?
Really hate us.
Smugglers are scabs.
Yeah, I will say the labor union's at a -3 for you folks right now. They want you dead.
Might as
They
well
want
just
us.
keep going with them.
They want us dead.
All right, so I think you don't have any cohorts. There's cohort arm and healing. So we've chosen a crew type, we've chosen our initial reputation and our lair, we've established our hunting grounds, which is the southern area of the docks. You have your special ability, you've got your crew upgrades, and you have a favorite contact. I think we're ready to go. Let me send this
Woo.
character sheet to all of you. I'm going to do a really quick 2-minute washroom break, and we'll get into
Do
your
we
first
still have another
score.
coin to like pay up our hatred with the union a little less?
You could if you want to, or who knows, maybe that will come out in play. You can always try to change the circumstances.
Or people could donate as well.
Oh,
This is true. This is
Make
true.
us
Why
less
is
hated.
this not saving properly? Oh, I saved it to the sports game. That's why. Whoops. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Make us less hated by the union. Give them money. Give us money to give them.
yeah, give the union money. That'll
mean,
work.
We'll
Give us our
establish who
dues.
you're doing a job for at the start of it, and we'll put some options together. So I just sent you all the Shadows character sheets. Does it seem like an
Nice.
okay spot to pause, and then we'll just power through some scores and shenanigans all together? Do a quick
Yeah,
washing
let's
break.
shenanigan
it up.
Already? Yes.
Shenanigans.
I'm really excited for this. Do y'all have the character sheet? You can see the shadows.
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome. I love that the crew is like a living and breathing character in this game too. I think that's really,
It's
really
great.
nice because it changes. It gives you all
I
like
really
a shared
like that.
character. You're doing it together. I think it's gonna be really, really cool.
I think
The
it's a
only
really
thing-
nice aspect of it.
I honestly, I'm interested to see it in play because I feel like it might be a little too unwieldy, but I'd like to see if maybe it really plays nicely.
Mhm.
I've
I mean,
heard
basically
from
the oh, do you mean the game itself or the crew?
Having the
The-
crew as a separate thing.
Mm-hmm. It
I've-
mostly
I've
just gives all of
seen-
you a bonus.
So this is kind of similar to the way that the pack mechanics work in Werewolf the Forsaken 2nd Edition, in a lot of ways.
Oh.
And honestly, this
Yeah,
is a more
okay.
it's a more streamlined version of that. I think everything I've heard about the system, it functions very, very well, Tosh.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun when we get into it.
Well,
More
we shall
streamlined
see
version of
when
anything
we
sounds good in my
return from
books.
a real quick washroom break.
I just need to understand clocks. Anyway, we'll be right back, everybody.
Yeah, what?
Hello, everyone. Please donate to Extra Life. There are lives that need to be extra.
Saved in it.
Extra save. How will save the children? Won't you think of the children? I don't know what accent that was.
Mm-hmm. It was a
Ugh.
fun one. I personally enjoyed it. It was great. All right. So
I know exactly what. Millie, the next time we
Yeah?
play this, can I be Dick Van Dyke, can I be? Dick Van
goodness, can
Dyke,
you ever
I'm a
be?
spider and a slurk. A slurk? What
A
is a
slurk?
slurk? What would a chimney
Slurk?
sweep be in this? Would that could be a lot of things, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna swap this back over so they can see our pretty pearly teeth.
yeah, it's gonna
Sounds good.
Oh,
Sounds
sorry, I
good.
got you right
Well,
in
it's
the
interesting
Robin.
because like
Although
I
we're
feel
underground London, we probably don't have that great of teeth.
probably not, but also like it's interesting because chimney sweeps are probably like a really angry gang somewhere because everything's electric right now. So the lamplighters are all upset and have turned to crime. I
Actually-
can only imagine chimney sweeps have done the same.
So, Tosh, I think our teeth would actually be like better than not because I don't think there's sugar.
Oh no, yeah, no, there's got to be. We're like Industrial Revolution time. Like we
We're-
have the world.
No, but where do we get it from? The world's dead.
Oh, we don't have like trade
Yeah,
kind
these
of
are good
thing.
questions.
I don't
Yeah,
know
these
what
are all
sugar
just-
is.
Yeah, maybe we're
but
doing all
it's
right then.
Pretty challenging.
We got like beet sugar and that's it.
Also, I'm really curious that I haven't seen anybody say anything online. Everybody has been, you know, the movie Prey,
Yeah.
Mhm.
like the new Predator
The new
movie.
one?
Everyone's been complaining about it for like, you know, because the main character's a woman. But I haven't seen anybody complain about it. But I love at one point they show her waking up and like, or right before she goes to bed, right when she wakes up, and she's stick brushing her teeth.
Okay.
And it's a little historical detail that a lot of people don't think about it. Like we brushed our teeth for hundreds of, well, tens of thousands of years. We just
have
use
tooth
sticks.
evidence.
Yeah, and I'm just I
I
thought it was
remember listening
like
to the Sawbones about that recently, so I remember watching Prey and being like, "Hey, I know that
it's-
now."
I still haven't
And
seen it. I really gotta watch it.
it's you know what?
Is it
Biggest
good?
screen you can get, loudest sound system you can get, and just have fun because you speak a bit of French, so you'll actually they don't subtitle certain parts of it.
Oh, neat.
Oh, and I've heard a rumor that they're going to be reshooting the movie in its indigenous dialect.
I think that
Banshee,
they've
I
already
think it
done
is?
the.
Have they already done that?
I
conversion.
did
Yeah.
hear that rumor.
I want to watch that because like,
I think that's
Love
super
it.
cool.
Anyway.
All right. Speaking of things that are super cool, however, why don't we set the scene a little bit? So, this mystery time of day, everything is dark and evening and dreary at this point. Sees you in the. Let's take a look. Where is the right spot for this? If you're sort of there. Okay, this sounds like a fun spot. We'll have the sounds of bare knuckle boxing happening behind you. So you're in the VIP seats of the boxing ring, but you're not here alone. You've been brought together by Baloel Kelland, the Foghound's boss. This is the smugglers. He's a man who looks extremely skinny and wears loose flowing silks. Really does not fit him at all. He has very, very sharp teeth. And he's summoned you all here to talk to you a little bit about the job. He's going to paint the scene a little bit for his perspective here. He goes over, you know, the history of the area as if you were totally unawares. He talks through the conflicts that's happening here. And he tells you that, well, so there's this proxy war going on, right? You know, Lord Strangford taps his chest, bless him, doing that little scuffle with those hive bastards. It's wonderful, lots of busy nonsense. We got some trouble with the Grey Cloaks, as you do. But this one's not about that. Up there to the north, by the docks, I've heard that there's a shipment coming in, a wreck that they've recovered, storing it in one of their warehouses. I have no idea when. I want you to retrieve it. If you do so, you may keep the equivalent of 4 coin from this wreck. All of our resources will be at your disposal, and we would be in your debt. Around you in this room are a few of his goons, as well as Stitch, or Seville Miller, who is a weathered-looking man who wears a mask and also flowing loose robes. He stares at you with significant intent. Now, this is going to be the first question I turn to you and ask, what do you do? And there's lots of options here. You can choose to already be working for someone else. Maybe you're here to assassinate him. You can choose to take this job and betray them. You can choose to see it through. But that's the starting scene. You're in this boxing ring. There's a bunch of scuffles happening behind you, and a weird, tall, sharp-toothed man in flowing robes is offering you a job. He seems quite genuine so far.
And where did you hear about this information from?
He's chewing on a worm. Can't reveal my sources.
come on, kill him! Punch him in the bloody bollocks! What?
His goon sort of like looks at you excitedly. It's the best spot to punch someone. It's the best spot, I'm always saying.
If you're fighting by Duskwall rules, yeah.
This one gets it. This one. Sorry, boss.
No, you gotta go for the throat.
Throat to cowards maneuver. Sorry, boss.
So he'll turn and look at Lucky. Tell you what, Look, next time we go out drinking, you punch me in the throat and I punch you in the bollocks, and we see who's still standing.
Okay,
Like a
let's
game
go.
of it.
Oh, Stitch is excited. I want to put money on that one.
Oh, I was just gonna say, who wants to take a bet?
I'll take the
Look
bet. A bet? I'll do it.
3 half pennies on unlucky.
The smuggler boss just sort of looks at you all, and the flash of amusement comes across his face, and he goes back to looking like a weirdly narrow shark. So
I'm gonna take some money exchange and make a note.
So,
he's gonna hold up a little envelope. More details within. Do we have a deal? We would owe you one.
who you with again?
This is the boss of the Foghound. So this is the rough and tumble smugglers who
Okay,
totally unofficially work for the nobility in the area.
Yeah. And
So
we have
they're
a we
very
have a
much
fair
the,
we have a,
the
g- a
union
good
busters,
relation.
and they're sending you in to bust a union thing, basically.
Amazing.
But by robbing their recent find.
Oh, we're gonna bust a union?
This is why the union doesn't like us.
Yeah.
They already hate you guys.
Already hate us.
Well,
I think Mist will
for-
just kind of slip up beside him and pluck it from his fingers. Sure.
in for a penny, in for a pound.
And we're gonna go pound for pound.
Actually, you're in for 3 pennies.
That's £3. That's a favor. Punch him again!
What does it mean? What does it even mean? I feel like I need to have a dramatic hat, but I put my hair up, so I don't have room for a dramatic hat.
I've been wanting to wear this hat for 5 years. I bought this 5 years
It's
ago.
too hot to wear a dramatic hat, but I like it. Insert fake dramatic. I'll just go like this the whole time. Hello. I'll use it for random characters, probably. So
But it looks
mechanically
like
at the
we have
moment,
a deal.
we're in free play. We're gonna figure out a little bit for where you're going and what you want to do. You have some like downtime stuff you can do here. It's not really downtime, but there's sort of like if the stuff that you want to do with your character before you start working on a job, we can do that now. Otherwise, we'll start maneuvering towards how doing our first job goes. It's very possible we'll do multiple scores this game. It'll depend on how the score comes together. But it sounds like you've at least said you're going to take this one, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So the
Perhaps.
the goons, and in particular Stitch, will tense up as you grab the envelope. Yes, perhaps they had no idea that you were there. But when you say that you'll take it, they all settle down a little bit. Do you open it?
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to quickly scroll through the book. Is there a list of where the poisons are? Because I have a bunch of lists.
Oh,
I
list
have a
where the
bunch of
poisons are.
poisons
I
to
have
choose
no
from, and I'm
idea.
wondering where that is.
Reason,
Just for some reason you're looking for poisons.
Yeah, you know, we're about to do we're about to do a thing. I need to know which poison to secrete from my body.
I have no idea. There may be a list.
Okay,
there may
cool.
not be. We could
All
possibly
right.
just come up with one.
Page 226.
Poisons are on page 226. Yeah.
Thank you.
Secrete poison.
This
Can you
index
just secrete
works.
alcohol?
Mm.
Oh, so it looks like there's 4, Robin, and they're all great.
Oh, I have,
Oh my
I have a
gosh.
whole
So
list
you've
on
got-
on the leeches. There's like I have like probably all of
Drown
these I
powder,
can choose.
eye blind, skullfire, and stand.
Eye blind is literally just pocket sand, and I love it.
Yeah. It's a powder that
Amazing.
causes temporary
All right.
blindness.
Oh my
Thank
god, I want to
you.
run this as the king of the hill, guys. Just the 4.
Okay.
Hank Hill's the cutter.
Oh my
I'll
gosh.
kick your ass.
This is really brutal, though. I mean, drown powder is a fine dust that incapacitates by giving the sensation of drowning.
You can, like, waterboard
Skullfire is
someone?
toxic fused from overly
Yep.
heated leviathan blood. If you secrete that, that's going to be a look. And
Leviathan
Standstill is a
blood.
powder that causes
gonna be a
temporary
look.
paralysis.
So I can choose from alkahest binding oil, drift oil, drown powder, eye blind poison, fire oil, grenade, quicksilver, skullfire poison, smoke bomb,
Grenade.
spark, standstill poison, and trans powder. I can literally secrete all of
Wait,
that.
trans powder?
Trance powder.
Oh, okay. I was like, trans powder sounds
I
useful.
want the trans powder. Secreting a grenade
Half our
is the
audience
funniest
loves
thing
that
that I've
powder.
ever heard.
character.
What
I
is
love the
it?
idea that
Half
you
of it, Kelly.
sweat liquid gunpowder and then set
Yup.
it off and run. That-
Are you- you're
that is
Bakugo.
Freaking hilarious.
Is this my hero Duskwall?
It is now. It is
It is
now.
now.
All right, secret energy drink.
But you
with
know,
no
I'm
brands, don't worry
here.
about it. Cripes. Okay, so you've been handed the letter. You're in the middle of this boxing ring. Are y'all opening it here? Or are you returning home before you open it?
I think return back before we open it.
But I mean, wouldn't we want to know what's in it? Like, this is about the job, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
don't want to do it.
We're
in
taking the
public.
job. I would want to investigate that before I leave the person who could answer questions.
I just figured if there's anything that we actually want to discuss about it, then we don't necessarily want to do it in front of them.
Yeah,
Oh,
they didn't give you
I would want to
immediate
know that
time
before I
limits.
left the person and I had to hunt him down again.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to discuss things here, but we should determine whether there are things to discuss.
Yeah, it sounds good. So I guess regardless of where you open it, so you can decide for yourselves in a moment. The letter contains information on a warehouse. If you look at the map where it says North Hook Way, it's that building, the big square one right underneath the word hook. So you go one building down, then another one. There's like a big square shaped building there that's connecting to those around it. That is the dock workers' primary warehouse. It sounds like it's located there. You get a little bit of information on timings of guards. They're going to give you a bit of their intel on this. They've got an idea for when the dock workers do their guard shifts. Hopefully it's accurate, but they're telling you what they are telling you. So that might be a boon to you in your engagement role. We shall see. And the shipwreck contains not just a sizable collection of coin that they would like you to acquire for them and keep a significant portion for yourself as well, but also some very old Leviathan's blood that must not be damaged. And they're offering additional payment if you bring that to them as well. But you could steal and sell it. Who knows what you do after you steal the stuff? Should you steal the stuff?
Well, Leviathan's blood, eh? Ain't that a rarity now?
I'm still not secreting a grenade. You're just like, I'm getting so nervous.
Okay, so I read it further. It is bond. It is not. It's not bombs. It's drugs and poisons I can secrete, which makes sense. So I can't secrete a grenade. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm personally offended that you cannot secrete a grenade.
I
Can you
know.
pass a grenade if given enough time and fiber?
Gosh, cursed sentences. All right.
well,
so-
there's one for TikTok.
Yeah, I suppose.
No.
Flip it right there, somebody.
No. No.
All right.
I can
So, do you have any more questions for them before you head out, or do you head back for questions for them if you've left already?
So the goal
Or are
is
you going
just
to-
to break this up.
They want you to steal a sizable collection of coin and Leviathan's blood. That should
Got
be
it.
in that giant warehouse stockpile. They don't know where in the warehouse this is.
Do they know how many coins are there?
Nope, but they know it's a lot.
And we're basically
And
stealing
I should
from
say,
the-
as note, they have
Ooh.
offered you 4 coin. So there could be more than 4 coin here. There could be less than 4 coin, but they will guarantee you 4 coin. They're under the impression it's a sizable amount. But you don't only get coin for the rewards here. You get status and respect. And
Yeah, exactly. If
reputation
we
and
just
all that
steal
good
it,
stuff.
then we don't get the next job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the dock workers would hire you next time, or maybe the Grey Cloaks would hire you next time to go stab the fog.
But
hounds.
eventually we get a pretty bad reputation.
Mhm. So it
I
feels like you're not here to
understand,
assassinate
that's fair.
everyone. You have
Okay.
grabbed the letter. You've perhaps walked outside.
Well,
Do you feel like you're ready to start attempting a nefarious engagement, or is there a different thing y'all would like to do?
I would like to scout the area if we're gonna do this job.
Sure. So something that's quite delightful about this system, I think, is don't bother. There's a whole set of mechanics on this to support all of that pre-work stuff after the fact. We're going to cut straight to the action on this one. I just want to make sure you're not going to go and do a different job, basically.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to sort of determine your, like, where you're going and how you're going about it. And I'll talk through what those options look like. And then we don't really need to worry about the chronological order of time in this because we have flashback mechanics and all of that sort of stuff to sort of let us get quickly into the narrative. And then you can go, oh, I totally would have scouted this area before and got their actual guards layout. So we would have, had this thing resolved. It'll be like, brilliant, you're now in a better situation in this current scene. Carry on.
Okay.
So it's quite nice. It keeps the thing moving pretty quickly, which is why I have no idea how many scores we're going to do today. We'll find out together. So planning and engagement. So I'm on page 125. For whatever reason, my PDF editor is different on this one, where all the pages are weird and wonky.
Oh, love it.
So I guess, how do you plan to go about this? Are you planning to assault the warehouse? Are you planning to lure, trick, or manipulate your way into the warehouse? Are you planning to stealth into the warehouse? Are you planning to engage a supernatural power into the warehouse? Are you planning to socialize your way into the warehouse? You're probably not planning to carry cargo around. So this would be assault, deception, stealth, occult, or social.
I'm good for
guessing
like
stealth.
stealth or
guessing-
social.
Can't social with them. So stealth.
Oh
They-
yeah, that's
it
right.
would
they
be quite
fucking
challenging
hate
to
us.
social with them. They do hate your guts and what
They
you
do
do.
hate
You could, like
us.
distract on social, I guess.
I
I mean,
feel
well,
like
I vote
at
for
this point,
stealth.
their
Yeah.
bosses have like little posters of your faces on dartboards,
Don't
like
talk
that kind of
to.
setup.
Okay,
the union,
so-
the union reps just like specifically
Kill on
talk shit
sight.
about you every time. Yeah, you're not kill on sight, but you're like
Okay.
really hate these guys. You just got
They've
here.
drawn mustaches.
You've
on
been here
all
for
of
like
us,
2
and
weeks, and
crossed
they're
off
like
the mustaches on the
exactly.
dents.
Yeah. Okay, so it sounds like stealth. So this would be. So one thing that we need to establish here is the detail. So when you choose a plan, so right now you're doing stealth, we're going to provide the missing detail, which is the point of attack. In this case, you can gather this information some way to discover it if you don't know already. But I feel like you can sort of dictate how you want to go about it. If you're trying to break in, you can go in from the roofs, from below. You can try to hide in a cart and get unloaded with a bunch of dockyard goods. What feels like the method of attack or the point of infiltration for y'all?
Who's good at infiltration in this group?
The hound.
You do have a lurk.
Oh, I lock too, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's your professional opinion?
You can also choose to do a gather information. So if you want to learn a little bit more about like the warehouse and stuff like that, we can do that beforehand, and that might help you narrow down specifically how you want to go in.
That sounds good.
So this
Yeah,
is like a
let's-
little miniature score we're going to do to gather some information about it before we go into the actual engagement. Does that sound
Yeah.
like a good approach?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, the other option is you can just charge in guns blazing, but this sounds good too. So what kind of information are y'all trying to gather, and how are you going to go about doing it?
I would say trying to gather what kind of guards about.
Okay.
How many, when, where?
I will say
Yeah,
for the guard stuff, pretty common information. Most of the dock workers, like enforcers, are basically big buff laborers.
Yeah.
They're not really particularly well trained, but they are particularly well motivated because they're fighting for their economic livelihoods. They don't have any they have very little connections with anyone else, so they're in it on themselves, and they're very much brawlers. So for what kind of guards, it'll be shifts of laborers watching the space and guarding everything.
We probably also want to try and figure out the entrances that are like actually plausible.
And if we can get some sort of information on where the coins would be stored.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like you're trying to find the layout of the building and sort of the stuff inside of it. Okay. So I feel like both of those would have a little bit of an obstacle to their discovery. So I think there could be a bit of an action roll for the first one, for figuring out the layout of the building. How would y'all go about doing that? Who wants to do this? You could just go and take a look around and skulk about, draw it out by hand. You
wanna
could
know the inside,
interrogate
though.
someone.
I'd probably scout to gather
to someone?
information.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk to contacts and that sort of thing as well.
So
Well-
the building's like a dock, like a storage facility on the dock, right? Like it's a
Mhm,
warehouse.
Yeah, it's just down from the docks.
Okay, but the laborers hate us,
Oh goodness,
And
did
they
they
know-
ever?
and they know us on site.
I mean,
Probably,
not
unless we disguise
necessarily.
it.
They know your crew by name and reputation, but that doesn't mean that they know you individually. They might. I will certainly give them, you know, some credit there.
Oh.
You'd have some disadvantage to socializing with them, but it might
I
change the stakes of things.
I do have a contact who's an information broker. Can I like get a map of the place or something?
Oh yeah, quite possibly. So would you approach the contact? How are you planning to get this? I guess what would you trade for this?
What would be equivalent value?
It's a good question. Hang on, let me see if I can pull up your sheet here. So this is Salia, right?
Yes.
Okay, brilliant. So I guess tell me a little bit about them.
Basically we're on good terms, kind of quid pro quo. When one of us has information about something that the other doesn't, we can usually come to an agreement to kind of facilitate kind of what needs to be learned, or at least give a hint of kind of who to go to get that information if they don't have it.
Yeah, that sounds good. So I guess when you approach Salia, how do you go about trying to get this information? Are you going to try to like, you know,
straight up, I would just kind of
your
like
way out of it?
Imply that, like, you know, I'm curious about this place for reasons, and does he have any sort of like any documents or layouts or knowledge or inside people who don't like them anymore?
So it sounds a little bit like you're trying to sway them to give you this information. Does that feel right? So let's do our first roll. We are going to do, I think this sounds like a sway roll. So I think on your sheet you've only got the 1 point under sway, so start with 1 dice. I think you could probably justify bonus dice pretty easily here, but there's other ways that you can acquire them as well. You can take some stress and stuff like that. Dice rolling is pretty straightforward and pretty simple. Something that we're going to do, sort of the process to go through for an action roll in this, is we're going to determine your position. I think in this position you're in control of it. There's no real like risk here. It's a super easy situation. I think the effect that this is going to have on any clocks will be quite limited because it's not the most suspicious thing in the world, but we'll see how the roll goes. And
can you do a
so
10-second description of clocks just for everybody?
Absolutely. So clocks is something that we're going to use to track basically all of the things. So in this one, we probably don't need it because it's a single action. But for something more complicated, I'd probably put a clock together for it. So a really good example clock would be like, you know, let's say you're breaking into a warehouse mysteriously. Alarm is probably a very accurate clock. So when you do something in the warehouse and perhaps you roll slightly dubiously, that doesn't mean you fail at what you're doing, but it may adjust one of those clocks. So perhaps the alarm clock would go up by 2. An alarm is probably a pretty simple clock. It probably only has 6 stages. So going up by 2 means you're a third of the way to something happening when the alarm goes up.
So it's a countdown to trouble kind of thing?
Well, it's not always
like
trouble.
a counter.
It can also be, there's so many different types of clocks. There's like a race clock, there's a tug of war clock, there's tons of options for it, but it's basically just a gauge of back and forth where something is.
Okay.
Counter.
All right, so let's do the roll. I think because you're so close, I feel like you can have a bonus on this. So you would be rolling 2d6, and you're going to choose the highest number of those 2 dice that you roll. You don't combine them. You can also choose to add more stuff to this. You can do devil's bargains and all of that stuff, but I don't think that you necessarily need to.
I got a 6.
You got a 6. Brilliant. Do you have 2 6s or just the 1?
And just the 1, 6 and 5.
Okay. Then you will succeed flat out. So they are going to give you basically blueprints to the place.
Excellent.
They're not the most detailed, but they're definitely, I guess, for a bit of insight on this, it really looks like this is the work of another crew that may have gone after this point in the past. It's definitely hand drawn. Someone sketched out the entrances. There's a guard schedule timing on the side. There's no date on it. It looks a little bit old, but it's probably still pretty accurate.
But we could probably confirm that guard schedule just by watching from the outside. So
you absolutely could, yeah. Okay, so good. This sounds like you've got a bit of a layout for it. There's lots of different ways you could break into this point. You can ask me if you have specific questions, or you can sort of decrease stuff. So y'all, we're also hoping to figure out where inside the warehouse the stuff you're after would be.
Yeah, does it say that?
It does not, because it's just sort of an old blueprint for it. Your contact has no way of knowing where anything is inside because they're not part of the dock workers group. Y'all could attempt to gather that information in a different way if you wanted to, or you could find it, or you could, interrogate someone partway through your adventure. Who knows what you're doing?
Is there any way for, like, Mist, can you do any lurking around or anything like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can totally gather information.
I don't know what
by,
your
like,
abilities are.
Sneaking about and scouting and...
Because, like, let's make this as, like, over-the-top cinematic as possible. So, like, Spider, like, Tasha can pull in contacts and help. Silver, you can gas people or knock people out or, like, create getaway stuff, right?
Yep.
Like smoke clouds.
Yep.
We've got the Hound to like basically pick people off at a distance, and I'm a big loud distraction.
Yeah, like I feel
and
like if Mist has any ability to like go in before the event and just kind of pre-establish where things are, like that would be useful.
And Mist is probably the one that gets the hands on the item too.
I feel like though, if I'm going to break in, I might as well do it on the day we're doing it.
That's a good
point.
But then
we don't know where we're
instead of
going.
doing it twice.
That's fair. So I guess Tasha, you're probably the one that has the best chance of like getting info on it, and then probably Jacob as a Hound, you're probably the best one at like keeping a distance and watching entrances and exits and like patrol routes and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I was doing.
I exactly feel like Jacob should be searching for our guard.
Do some of the
schedule.
stuff as flashback things too. If you want to go, haha, I totally would have known exactly where this was because of this now detail that we've established. That now
Do we get a
Yeah, I
limited
think we're
number of
missing
those?
the point here. I think we gotta like let's do the job and then
yeah,
let's
we don't
collect
need to do
later.
too much planning, but so gather information is
let's
like
go.
a downtime activity y'all can do because you're in free
Night
play
of.
right now. But you can
Let's
also
go.
just go, you know what? There's an entrance on the roof. Let's go for it.
Yeah, damn. Look at this map. Let's go.
Yeah, if we can do infinite flashbacks, let's just go.
Okay,
All right.
so one thing for y'all to choose is to choose your loadout. And this is not choosing individual item, it's just the number of items that you have. These are
Okay.
things that will allow you to use those items in time during, like I totally had a grappling hook moments. You should have a list of items on your playbook, but you sort of want to choose how many there are because they impact you a little bit. So be like a loadout weight, that kind of thing.
How many items do we get?
You
Is it?
choose either
I think it should be on
3,
your
5, or
sheet.
6.
Yes,
on
3, 5,
it.
or 6.
6 plus.
Oh, I see. That's this is
Mhm.
really
But the more you have, the more obvious.
6 plus is like unwieldy.
Yeah. It's heavy, normal, or light.
But just mark down how much gear you're taking with you on this adventure, and then we'll see how this attempted adventure goes.
I am choosing
So
5
what is-
for my loadout.
What does heavy give you? What's the downside? Does anybody know?
You are very obvious, I think. People can
Mhm.
suspect that you look like you're carrying a lot of shit, so you become
Basically. So it may
obvious.
impact consequences and stuff like that, which we'll talk about once we have rules that go differently. I'm trying not to talk through too many rules before they're necessary, so we can try to focus on narrative
Sounds good.
adventures.
back.
I have 5.
We've got 5.
Yeah, I think I'm
Awesome.
going
so
with
long as you
as
know,
well.
I
I'm
don't
going with
necessarily
3.
need to know, but I guess let me know if you're like super heavily overloaded.
So real quick question about that, but we also, because of our bonus, have 2 more points of loadout for free.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So is
what
that-
do we do?
So that does not add to weight. That's for the crew.
Yep, so there's just 2 more loaded items that anyone can pull from that's separate from your weight.
And can we pull from...
I would say potentially I should be lighter loaded, but I have all
Yeah.
the stuff I want to carry.
Mm-hmm. But so then you can use those 2 additional points of loadout to go, hi, I totally had this because of thieves' ropes.
All right, so then
Okay.
I would take light for my load.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Wait, no, I don't get it.
Yeah,
Who
High
gets the
Gogga
extra
has it.
points,
Has
or
it very
everyone
right
gets
here.
the extra
Light, medium,
points?
heavy is basically stealth versus well equipped.
Everyone has to share the pizza of points.
Okay, so who's
So
getting?
you have your own loadout, and then there's
Mhm,
also an
yeah.
additional 2 anyone can pull from. That's separate from your loadout. They're
And
just
who is
magical
pulling
item
from them?
carrying through magical ropes that anyone can pull from at any time.
Probably, it seems like we can use those retroactively through flashback.
Yes.
Just
Yes.
saying.
So
Oh,
you'll
okay, we
use
don't
all
need
of
to
this stuff
decide
later.
now.
That's
No.
what I was saying. Don't
We should
decide. You just need to know
Got it.
how
If
many
someone,
items you
if we're in a
have.
situation where someone's like, oh, I really wish we had blueprints. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I actually have
Yeah,
blueprints now.
totally had. Yeah, or a weapon or a grappling hook or something like that. Yeah. So this is another one of the mechanics to try to get us into the action.
Yeah,
But it's
perfect.
so backwards from what we're used to with
I-
these style
right?
games where it's all linear
This is
time.
amazing.
That it's going to be a little interesting to do, but I'm so excited for it. Speaking
we
of things
going-
that I'm so excited for, I guess ground floor, top floor, underground.
So we're transporting like crates of
You do-
things, right? Like
You do have
large.
crates of things to extract. They do seem to be quite large. You can figure out how you're going to get them out with a flashback later if you need to.
Well, we got to get them out through the roof's probably not the best idea, but that's probably the entrance. And then I'd say probably we have an exit
Back door.
near a boat or something.
Sure, we can figure that part out later. But
Yeah.
so you're going in right now. with
Sorry,
the
sorry,
narrative
sorry.
camera.
Perfect.
Does that go to the
Entrance
roof?
Through the roof. Damn, yeah.
Yeah,
through the roof.
Okay, awesome. That
Do we want
sounds
to do a
good.
split? Because I have my alchemicals, so I could potentially also just like get two of the guards that are by a main door or something, and just like give them the dream smoke.
Oh,
That
to
can
get in?
also be a type of action under teamwork as well.
Okay.
So that could be
yes,
even a
yes.
setup action. So that doesn't even have to be a separate group sort of thing. You can say as part of this, hey, I want to do a setup action to distract the
Cool.
guards, to improve, someone else's position or affect the role, that sort of thing. It's free and
All right.
amazing and really, really worth doing this.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah. Totally.
All right. The dramatic camera pans over to the five of you perched upon the rooftop. Well, to at least Mist perched upon the rooftop, and some number of you also in the scene. We'll figure out depending on your setup actions and that sort of thing. Ahead of you is a latched window. Behind it, a infinite catwalk of metal and steel and moving parts. What do you do?
I would like to slip inside and try and
Okay,
find.
so you're gonna have to unlock the window first. It's a very
Alright.
simple, pretty easy little obstacle, I think. At least as
I
far as
have
you can
fine
tell.
lockpicks,
We'll see
so-
how this goes. Brilliant. So I'm gonna say that for this moment, this is risky. That's the default thing. So this sort of determines our stakes for it. And the effect of this will be pretty standard, I think. And I'm gonna set up a breaking and entering clock. Let's say that this is
Ooh.
20 ticks to it.
Plot twist suggestion: $50 donated. What?
Oh.
Although Ziffia was on good terms with her. I gotta pull up the app. One sec.
Oh, hang on.
I'm
Is
just
this a
loading
twist
it.
that contact was being quite nefarious?
Or was
think so.
incompetent or something like that.
Sure,
Plot
yeah.
twist, although
I mean, it was
Ziffia
an
was
old map.
Oh,
on good
hold on.
terms with the contact that provided the map. Her contact had screwed over the crew and gave her a map, so the map isn't accurate.
Brilliant. This sounds great. So the map that you had very much advised you to come in this
$50.
direction. My apologies, Mist. This is now a desperate stakes thing. Please mark XP. And the effect may be great.
Okay.
we'll figure out why narratively.
This is where
in a
all the guards
moment.
take their smoke breaks.
It goes into their change room.
Yeah, it's a
Into the
mysteriously
locker
smoky
room.
window. You can't see behind it at this moment.
All right. Well, I guess I will. I don't know any of this, so I will attempt to lockpick.
Okay, so there
What
are.
do I do
you
for
can
that?
get one bonus die if you want, so you
Okay.
can push yourself on this. So attempting to lockpick, that sounds a little bit like you're trying to go for. Is that a finesse? Maybe
Probably.
you're trying to finesse the lock. So then you would have 2 dice for that by default. You can get a bonus die by putting some stress on yourself, so you'd mark down 2 stress. Or you could make a devil's bargain, which is an adventure in consequence, basically.
So a bonus die for 2 stress, you say?
Mhm.
I've got lots of space on
So
my
the way-
stress track.
Yeah. So the way that stress tracks work is you're going to stack them up. You probably are going to spend a bunch of stress throughout this. If that reaches the top, you have to get a point of trauma. If you get 4 trauma, so I think there should be 4 trauma ticks on your sheet, you're in big trouble.
So that gives me 3 dice, I believe. What am I looking
I
for
think that
on these
sounds good.
dice?
So you are looking for the highest number between the 3 of them. So 1 to 3 is a complication. 4 to 5 is a success with cost. 6 is a flat out success, and double 6s is a crit.
Ooh, I like that. Boxcars is a crit.
Alrighty, that is a 4, a 5, and a 3.
Yeah, awesome. So it sounds like a 5 so far. So then you will succeed with cost. Oh, sorry, you're doing your camera. I keep thinking you have a question when you do that.
Oh no, sorry, I'm trying to
I'm like,
unfuzz.
oh.
No, sorry.
Yeah, camera adventures. Okay.
Yep.
So let's go for a pretty little consequence here. I think on this, I'm going to give you a couple of ticks on an alarm clock that I'm going to write here. So it's at 2 out of 6 right now. So you open this thing, and it's a little creakier and more challenging than you anticipated. This lock looks quite old, but it's surprisingly complicated. But you are extremely adept. You know what the heck you're doing. You get it open in no time. On the other side is a empty room full of showers, but they are quite steamy. Someone has clearly been here recently. And you hear someone on the other side of the door outside go, "What was that?" What do you do?
1 sec, I just need to read a thing. I am going to take my silence potion vial and wrap my fine shadow cloak around me and try and hide.
Okay, sounds good. So you're gonna go full stealthy mode?
Yes.
That sounds
so
perfect, actually. So you disguise
silence
yourself.
potion negates all sound within 10 paces for several moments, and the shadow cloak
it's all sound
improves
within
your
10
effect
feet.
level when you sneak around.
That is perfect. So I think that door will open, and a big burly man with the biggest mustache you've ever seen. I'm gonna put him in our NPC list as Mustachio. He's large. That's the descriptive term. We'll open the door and peek inside and do a little like, must have been the wind, and closes the door.
It's just a box.
He's gonna go, "How are you?" And then he walks down the metal hallway on the other side. But you have an entrance point. What are y'all doing?
So I'm
There's still
sneak up
people in
to
that
door
This
room?
is
and try and
definitely
get in.
not, I guess, as a note, this doesn't match the blueprints at all. This should take you to a storage closet.
Huh. All right.
The showers on the blueprints that you do have go directly to the guards' barracks.
Gonna kind of sneak up to that door and put an ear to it.
Sounds good. You can hear people talking on the other side. Big gruff voices. Squeaky window. Barfle, snarfle, barfle, 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 snarfle, snarfle, barfle, barfle,
Never
barfle.
fix
Muscly
anything around here.
mustache man voice. It's difficult to make out what they're saying at this point, but it is very muscly and mustache man filled.
Were there any other windows that I think I could have got in through?
And several more along the top.
I'm gonna flip back out, trying to like be silent still with my last few moments of my
Okay.
silent potion, and try and
I
find
assume
another window.
you let the I'm sort of picturing that the crew is coming in behind you tentatively at this point. So you scoot them out and go in for another window?
Yes.
Okay, so you can do that just fine. You can find a spot that looks more like you were expecting, a storage area full of things that we'll describe in a moment.
I'm
but you can
picturing
get in no
very
problem.
cartoon, like we're all just like creeping behind each
Yeah,
other,
yeah,
and then
full
and then
Scooby-Doo
and then
modes.
Mist like turns around, and we all like bump into each other and wave our arms, and then have to turn around and go
Too strong
away.
for you.
Oh, see, I wasn't sure that you guys were all coming in behind me because it doesn't really make sense for the cutter type, the big bulky
Yeah.
dude, to be coming in through the second story window.
Yeah, maybe not immediately.
I thought you guys
Yeah,
were
I'm
like
not- I'm
talking
not-
about distracting guards in other floors.
Yeah, very, very possible. And maybe that is something that they're doing. But so you go in through another window. So let's leave you there for a moment. You've broken in somewhat successfully to a different spot on this upper level. You're in a big spooky storage area, and in this are a whole bunch of weird mannequins and crates. You get a real skin crawly sense of stuff in this area. It's pitch black. There's not a single source of light in here, except perhaps your own very, very quiet and very subtle lantern. the rest of y'all, where are you and what are you doing?
So, Mr. Rich is outside the back door, like, because this building opens to the docks, right? So he's in a slightly larger than average rowboat, reading a broadsheet by lantern.
Okay, that's
by
adorable.
candle, because I didn't pay for a lantern, so by candle.
Sure. So you're just sort of on standby to be doing setup
Waiting for the
actions,
back
that
door
sort
to
of thing?
open.
Okay,
What was
sounds
taking
good. So
it?
that feels like a little bit like what your plan is then, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm choosing it in the moment.
sure, that sounds good. So the rest of you waiting for something to change, or are you taking action already? We'll go back to this if you're waiting for something to change.
I think Silva is gonna try and knock out some guards with her poison.
Okay. So are you going to come in behind Mist and see if you can go take out those guards, or go in through that first entrance closer to them and see if you can take out some guards?
Probably go in through the smoke room. I think she's gonna try and just
Sounds
like
good.
secrete all of the poison and be like, "Whoops, sorry, wrong room." And then.
All right, I love this. So you creep in through that open window, and the room is filled with steam and warmth. Something surprisingly rare here. It's kind of nice, but it smells real gross because these boys are big sweaty. You creak open the door and you peer outside. On the other side of this is a locker room. There are 4 big, sweaty, naked dockyard bros in here, talking shit about the ex-cops. What do you do? Each mustache is more glorious than the last.
I think Silva's gonna go in there and say, "Oh, pardon me, gents. This is I must have gotten lost." And then she's just I'm gonna use my ability and just exhale a vapor of standstill poison, which is a powder that causes paralysis.
Sure, that sounds like a lot of fun. I'm trying to think of whether or not there's even a roll attached to this, or if you just walk in and spread poison to everyone.
I don't know, because it just says
Only 1 fortune die.
Okay.
We should have done
It
this
does
at the
say because
start of
I
this,
can
actually.
push.
I'm realizing
it
I
does say
missed something
push
as
to
part of
secrete it.
our setup
Yeah.
here too. We should have had a fortune die at the start.
Yeah, so, I don't know. Is it wreck? Is it tinker? I don't know.
Just roll 1.
I would say wreck.
Yeah, this
Let's
is going to be
roll.
our overall luck die. So this is something that we totally should have done before the engagement that I neglected to do because I missed that note in my notes. I actually
That's
rolled
a-
2 because you have some assistance outside.
Okay.
Let me know the highest number. This is going to sort of establish our overall luckiness for this, and I feel this comes down to overall luckiness.
I rolled a Dork Tails on the D6, so that's a 6.
Nice. So sure. They all seem very startled and embarrassed that some random individual has shown in their middle of their muscly man complaint session. And they approach you sort of with like curious caution. And then you get them all with paralysis poison. They go down one after another, after the 4th, into the lockers, into the benches. This makes a little bit of noise, but none that gets picked up anywhere.
Nighty night, gents.
How long does that
sounds good.
last?
It says temporarily,
unclear.
so
Long
it's
enough. We'll see.
unclear. You could, I
They're
don't know if you
also
want-
fully conscious. They're just
They're just paralyzed. They're just paralyzed.
so they're all sort of lying
They're
there
just
going,
a little paralyzed. They're still good. They're still good.
thunk.
Yep.
Yeah, they're probably fine.
And then
Okay.
she's gonna go take some like, probably like find their clothes, and then she's gonna just like gag them basically.
Oh, sniff them.
Oh,
Alright,
are we
sounds
all
good,
in guard
sounds good.
uniforms now, except for Mist, who's doing on a different thing?
Oh yeah, we
That
yes,
totally
you
could.
totally could be. Yeah, you
We
can follow
totally
in and grab
take it,
some like guard uniforms. The Union Guard uniforms are really quite simple. They're basically labor clothes with like a big old like Union defense pin on them. So basically, just don't look too fancy and stick a big old Union defense pin on, and you'll probably blend right in.
Yeah,
We're
Silver
definitely
will
taking
actually
the outfits.
come out and be like, "Well, I got
God,
ourselves some.
one of my lights is having some trouble.
Oh no,
Uh-oh.
I got
It
some
is
fancy
broken,
new
actually.
clothes for us to wear, gang. Might
Oh,
make
that's not
getting
good.
out of here a little easier too."
Not really my style, but I guess it'll do.
Y'all are adorable. Okay, so Miss, let's cut back to you. You've got one companion waiting for the back door to open because they're perhaps too big of a shaved bear to sneak in across the rooftops. And you know the rest of your team has gone in that window you opened in the first place. Must have
Maybe
gotten
Miss
something
is in charge
backwards
of finding
somehow.
the gold, and then the rest of us are, you know what I mean?
Yeah, starting to do your little infiltration adventure. Sure, sounds good to me. You're in a big, dark, spooky room. At the end of this room is a doorway that goes to the gangplank that runs across the whole of this warehouse. What do you do?
Well, I guess start looking to try and figure out where what we're supposed to steal is.
Okay, sounds good. So do you, I mean, I guess does that mean you're going outside the room, or are you going to try to find something in this room?
I'm gonna have a quick look around the room, I guess, because it seems like a bit of a store space, so maybe they shoved whatever it is here. Do we have like
Sure.
a good description of it, or?
Of the stuff that you're looking for? No, not at all. Basically, that it's some recent find from a wrecked ship that contains a whole bunch of coin and some Leviathan's blood.
All right. Very descriptive.
I
guess look
super
for less
descriptive. It's like
dusty
they had
chests.
terrible intel. Yeah, so I'll say this room is basically very dusty.
Right.
On a quick glance with your lantern, it doesn't look like anyone's really in here often at all, which is what you were expecting for the spot that you broke into.
All right. I guess I will have to head out into the rest of the warehouse then, and potentially let Mr. Rich in.
Sure, sounds good. As you open that door up onto the dramatic walkway, that tingling sensation lowers a little bit. And you know to your left, your comrades have hopefully done away with some of those guards you encountered. And ahead of you is a massive, wide open warehouse. There are steam-powered, electric-powered at this point now, chain assemblies that are moving carts around. Even though it's quite late in the day, it's still quite busy in here. There are a lot of workers doing work right now. Also not something you expected.
Huh.
There are stairways you can take up and down, but you are on the 3rd floor, which is the top floor.
All right. So based on kind of, obviously the map we got is wrong. However, it seems to be at least relatively accurate in that the parts of the place are there. It's just in the wrong spot.
Yes.
So knowing what I know it should contain, can I kind of extrapolate looking around where that might be?
Sure. Yeah, I think so.
But here's a drop
Let's
from
take a
memory
quick
by
look
someone
at
who's
some
bad
of
at it.
the. I wish I could click on more of these, because some of these you can click on to be like, take me to the prowl description, please. Do. Okay, so right now it definitely sounds like you're like, are you sneaking around and taking a look?
I think so. I think I'll prowl around.
Okay, that sounds good. So let's do a prowl test here. So at the moment you're rolling 2 dice. I will say that this is risky. The alarm isn't too high. They're not on the lookout for you or anything like that right now. But I think the stakes are, standard.
All right.
Also your B&E
So when I have something that says it improves your effect level.
Okay, so that's sort of the effect. That's what I said, stakes, which is not the right word for
Okay.
it.
So I have a fine shadow cloak.
Okay, awesome. So that improves your effect level. So that makes your prowling around much more effective. So you're prowling around in here trying to find stuff.
Okay. So I get
I think that sounds about right to me.
2 dice for my prowl. And I don't think I'll add anything more.
Okay, sounds good.
Yes, Dork Tales.
Nice.
You got a
Those
6?
dice
You
are
have
so
2
good.
6s or 1 6?
A 6 and a 4, unfortunately.
Brilliant. Y'all with your like basically no consequences so far. What the heckity?
I just dance along these beams up in the ceiling.
Yeah, that's nice. That's
Just kind of
nice.
flitting around looking for stuff.
Yeah. So you
Nobody
flit
looks
around
up.
the beans, you scoot around a little bit.
Nobody ever looks up.
I am going to increase some clocks here in your favor with a significant effect on this. You are actually going to locate, sort of in the very, very bottom, there's a pile of crates that has a clear guard station next to it. There's like a big burly guy there doing crossword puzzles on a newspaper. And the pile of crates that look really quite rotted. But they're on a very new pallet.
Side
Could
note,
be
when were
them.
crossword puzzles invented?
Who knows? They've invented them. Perhaps
Is
just
it near
in
the
this
back
moment.
door by any chance?
I
Could the back door be conveniently
you rolled so
behind
good
the guard
on
hut?
You rolled so good on the nefarious fortune roll. Sure, it's not too far from the back door at this point.
I'm gonna try and let Mr. Rich in then.
Okay, so you're gonna scoot your boot down and try to open the back door. So there are lots of people around. So I feel like you may have to be a little bit stealthy to go about this, or
Okay.
perhaps someone else could take a support action to try to distract people and get them to look somewhere else and give you some assistance in case anyone wants to.
So it would be 2 stress to add a die.
Or you can do a devil's bargain.
Mm,
2 stress might be the safer option.
I think I'm gonna go with 2 stress for now. Leave the devil's bargain till it gets a little more desperate.
Okay, sounds good to me.
I mean, I feel like if potentially what's the support role is us being guards going around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and obviously we set up some kind of signal so when she finds it, she can alert us.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Of course. I don't think you even need to do a dramatic flashback for this. It's just going, hey, you remember the signal? Of course
It's over
you
there.
do. Of course you do.
Of course. A weird
Hey, Masala.
whistle that sounds very much like a
A mysterious
sparrow
caw
or
goes off.
something. Yeah, that you know.
Okay, sure.
where-
That
Some old
sounds good.
warehouse birds.
So the three of you
nest.
are off being dramatic guards. But what do you do to set up Mist's door opening to be not as suspicious?
Distract the other guards.
I'm gonna point to another guard and say I don't recognize him.
Okay, that seems like a really good one, actually.
I was
Do you
gonna
just
say
walk-
either that or knock over a crate or something. Be like, "Oh, you idiot!"
I'm gonna just point at a random guard, be like, "Hey, who are you? I don't recognize you."
Sure, that sounds good. So it sounds like you're going for a set of action. Are you doing? I guess this could be sway, perhaps. You're trying to sway someone to think that this person's suspicious.
Yeah.
Or okay, sure. Let's go for it. So I think you've got the 1d6 on this so far to see how convincing this. Hey, you, I don't recognize you. I think either way, this might be quite distracting. We'll just see how this happens for you. I think that this is risky.
Actually, gonna.
With
go ahead.
a small outcome.
Could we try and do a?
I'm
like,
actually gonna take
group
2 points
action
of
with this?
stress to
Okay.
give myself an extra dice.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Robin.
I was just wondering if we could try potentially like as a group action, like if Tasha.
You totally could. Yeah. You could do
and
a
then
group
try
action
and use our
altogether.
synchronize to try and
Yeah,
get
yeah,
multiple
yeah.
6s.
You could become an extremely convincing pile of totally the original guards who were all
Yeah.
these imposters. What are you talking about?
I would love to use Sway to do that.
Let's use
Sure.
Sway.
We totally investigated who was new, and that guy was new.
Yeah.
So other people
Who
might
are
not
you?
know.
Sure. So,
Oh,
so
you
that
might-
does that feel like a bit of a flashback then to investigating, figuring out who's new on the crew and finding your target for this move that you definitely planned?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so doing this, I will say this isn't something you can do as a downtime action, so it's not going to cost coin or rep, but this will cost 2 stress to whoever's initiating this flashback to have totally, gotten through the guards list and figured out who the newbie is. You got a picture of the newbie, and you're going to call him out because you don't recognize him, and he's clearly a spy for some faction.
Okay.
So who's doing this quick flashback? Who is the
I
one who
will.
got this information?
I'm the
So
one
it's
that
you. Okay, so
started
mark
this,
2
yeah.
stress for doing that.
Okay, done.
Where do you
So
mark
the-
stress
the-
anyway?
It's on your sheet. It's sort of in a weird spot. I never
Underneath
find it
your
when I'm looking for
vice.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Above home.
Oh, weird. Okay, I see.
Yes, there is. Yes, I always want it to be sort of to the right of coin. I'm always like, is that stress? But it's not. It's
Yeah, that's
underneath,
where I was
like,
looking
where
for
says,
it.
stress and trauma. Yeah. Oh wow, Shigamadams all around. Okay, so the narrative lens flashes back in time to you. Are you buying this information? Are you beating it out of someone? Are you stealing it from someone's pocket?
I mean, his skill is just watching, right?
Yeah, so I
Sure.
would've
So it's just
scouted
you
it.
sitting there across the street for a while as leverage music plays for a little bit, going, a newbie, eh?
A newbie.
That sounds good. Okay, awesome. So this seems like a really great plan. You know who to target. You definitely planned this ahead of time. Who's taking the lead on this group action to totally be the original guards? What are you talking about?
once again, I'll be the one pointing the guy out.
Okay, so you want to be the group lead on this one? That
Yeah.
sounds good. So each member in this makes an action roll, and you don't have to use sway for this. Use whatever skill you feel is the most appropriate for it. And this includes you, Mr. McKillen.
Okay.
And then for any 1 to 3 that anyone in this group rolls, you will take stress. So I guess let me know how you're taking part in this group action. Why don't
Can I
we go in
take
orders
extra
here?
stress to get myself another dice roll?
Sure, you can get stressy as heck. But so, do you mean on like adding a dice to this, or do you want to do another flashback?
I want you to add a dice to this.
Yeah, totally.
I can
Yeah, you
roll
take a couple of
2.
stress to do that. Sounds great.
What is the deal
so
with
hang on,
stress? Like, is there a mechanic to lower it?
Yep, downtown.
Oh, that's your vice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep, big part of it. Yeah. You're on the ball, fully on the ball. Okay, so going around the adventure circle here, how does Zilf help this task? What do you do to assist this? You're totally the original guards. This guy's an imposter. We should throw him in the river.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, like, that's sway, right? So
Could be. It depends how you go about it. You could instead be like, this crate has been broken. He was trying to steal, because you smash it open. You've got lots of options.
did Eliza knock over a crate?
I think if I could use wreck, yeah, I think Eliza knocked
Okay,
over
totally.
a crate
So
near him.
When we were next
That's
to this
great.
guard.
Yeah.
So why don't we do that one first then? So let's roll the wreck.
Okay.
And see how crate smashing goes for you. See how delicate your destruction can be.
And then I'm standing a little bit away, but I go, I saw him do it.
So then you would
I'm
do
gonna take-
sway. Okay.
Oh my god,
And
a
then
5 is my highest.
Okay, brilliant. So 5 is your highest. So remember that 5 is your highest.
Mhm.
Oh gosh, if you roll 2 6 in this, goodness.
Just roll
All
one
right.
dice, right?
So you would roll your sway and dice.
Okay.
So I think it may just be 1.
Got a 5.
Okay, brilliant. So 5 is still the highest so far, but that's good. No one's rolled a 1 to 3, so you have no stress. You're gonna do real well on this so far. However, it's your chance to possibly roll a 6 here. Let's see what you got, Unlucky.
1 6. 2 6s.
Are you serious?
Yes, 2 6s.
Goodness gracious. Okay, so what that is
Poor guy.
mechanically is that is a critical hit. So that has an increased effect. So I would say the effect on this is now quite significant. Oh gosh, and the clock is full. Y'all are ridiculous. Okay.
All the guards are gonna come
No,
over
not
to
the alarm at all. The
investigate.
other way around. So at this point, I sort of did like a clock for how progressed you are towards this breaking and entering and getting the stuff you're after, and a clock for the guard's alarm level, which has only gone up 2. Yours has gone up 8 because you keep increasing the effectiveness of the silly things that you're doing. You heckin' gremlins. Okay, so we have this beautiful scene where you round the corner and there's a guard standing directly in front of you, and there's this like moment of shock across all of your faces where it's like, are they going to accuse you of something? But no, they don't accuse you of something. We flash back to you stalking the joint, going, a newbie, eh? Flashback a moment beforehand where the crate behind you is crushed, and the two of you accuse perfectly. The other guards in the room are like, oh yeah, the guy is pretty new. You're right. Looks at your badge. Buddy. Clearly we should throw him in the river. Let's get going. And they're going to grab him and start heading towards the front door, leaving you basically completely alone by the back door and all of the loot that you're here to steal.
All right.
So, Mist, I would say right now you are in control. This is a very low stakes situation right now, and the effect is going to be pretty limited.
Okay. I guess I just have to roll sneaky, right? And then open the
Yeah,
door.
totally.
and-
Just to make sure none of the workers here really like catch on and try to go find those guards that just ran off to throw someone in the river.
2 6s.
Y'all.
I feel like I open the door and do the frantic wave at Mr. Rich. Get in. Come here.
Mhm.
Come on. Quick.
Yep. Absolutely. Drop the rock.
Yeah, just been chilling outside the whole time. I feel like you're the Elliot in what's now becoming a very bizarre episode of Leverage.
And
Just-
if we've been like really
I'm
sneaky,
just
Miss is
literally,
just
yeah.
gonna start trying to like try and shift some of the smaller stuff out the door so it's easier access.
Yeah, not a bad idea. That's an additional question too, is that there is other stuff that y'all could potentially steal here. There's tons
Can we
of
see
shipping
that
that comes through
dragon's
this
blood or whatever it
warehouse.
was?
Leviathan.
So the
blood?
Leviathan's blood is supposedly with the money that they just acquired.
You see it?
So you could investigate some spooky crates and see what's
I
in
would
there.
like to
Yeah.
pry open some crates.
Sure. So there are lots of workers and stuff around still. You've opened the door. You could like drag them out and pretend to be like, haha, we are clearly the guards doing this. Or
Yeah,
you
we
could
gotta
open them
investigate
right
these
here.
ones. We gotta double check the inventory.
You gotta make sure
Sure,
he didn't
sounds
steal anything
good.
beforehand.
Make sure it's all here. There's been
Okay,
no
awesome.
funny business.
Of course. Y'all did so well that I'm not gonna make you do another test for this at the moment. You successfully can at least open the tops of these crates and like peer into them. There is a whole bunch of very old coin in here, not the type that can still be used as currency, but the type that is made out of very valuable metals like golds and silvers. So that is indeed worth a good chunk. It's certainly worth much more than what you're gonna be paid for this job. There is also very, very old bottles of Leviathan's blood at the bottom. They glow with a shimmering sort of teal light. It's like an oil slick that glows in the dark. Yeah, and also these crates are massive. I'm not sure what your plan is to transport them, but I suppose you have a boat.
We have a boat, Mr. Rich.
yeah, we
has
have a plan.
brought us a boat.
Feel like also if you just were like, I acquired a boat, I think you can do that, but you should mark down a couple of stress for it, Mr. Rich, just to be boat acquiring, because it just means
Let's
it's
do
something that you did. Yeah.
I'll do that.
Yeah,
two?
so the narrative lens follows the door opening as the boat that you clearly had acquired before is sitting there with you looking down from your newspaper. Oh, perfect timing.
Perfect
You'll open the
timing.
crates and see tons of delightful loots in it. How are you planning to go about getting this crates, I assume, onto your boat? I would say that there are 3 large crates here. Each of them is probably worth about 8 coin worth of shiny metals, which is a huge and ridiculous amount of money.
Well, we can either force the Dark Walkers to do it, or we can do it ourselves.
Mhm.
Pretty sure a couple of those are getting pocketed. I'm just saying.
I mean, we
Let's see
get
if we
paid
can-
for what we do.
Let's see if we can sway some of the workers to help us.
What?
Sure, you're all definitely very, very much so the proper guards here.
Yeah, we are
taking
very much the
whole
proper
situation.
guides.
I think you're in a pretty good circumstance on that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the time to do it. Like,
You could try to go recruit some random dock workers. These guys are gonna hate you so much after this.
Yeah, let's try to recruit one of the dock
It's gonna-
workers. One or
For
two of
some
them.
reason, I'm gonna add a row below of like dock workers. For some
I would
reason.
like
They
to have a
clock on
flashback.
debate right now. Yeah.
Oh,
What do you want?
Robin, you got a donation from Dork Knight for a reroll on
Oh.
poison use.
Oh, thank you.
I
Very
would like.
nice.
We have not used all of our retroactive items, have we?
No, I don't think we
Nope.
use any of the loadouts really.
I would like to call in that we have documents that
Mm-hmm.
say, "Oi, these need to be moved right now."
and onto
Sounds
this
good, sounds
particular
good.
boat.
Yeah. Forge
Yeah.
them, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are
How
the
did
orders.
you acquire these documents?
I think that does anybody who here would be good at forgery?
I think I am.
Yeah,
Boom,
I
there
think-
we go.
Okay, sounds good.
You good at
Do
forgery too,
you-
Jacob?
No, I was gonna say I think Spider would have the forgery.
Yeah.
Yep, I think that makes an awful lot of sense. Wait, hang on. 2 times per score you can assist teammate without paying stress. Are you? Gosh, Spider is so good. Cripes.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So we'll flash back. I'm not going to make you roll for this one, Tasha. You flash back to you doing the perfect forgery under lantern light, and then you have those documents that you hand over to the crew. So you're still going to have to attempt to sway them,
My full nail
but this will
cap
give
right
you a
now.
significant edge. Well, you're going to have to attempt to get them on your side. You don't have to use sway, but. So who is taking the lead on this? You could do it as a group. You could do a group action. if
Yeah,
you
I think
want
as a
them to
group
do
we'll
Yeah.
what
just
you
go up and be
want.
like, here are the
I
new
think that's good.
orders. Let's
Oh,
do
and-
these.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
So in
actually
this-
we passed Mr. Rich one of the extra badges. So he's
Oh,
has a
Sure,
badge
yeah,
as well.
sounds good, sounds good. So we'll
The
do another
outfit
one.
probably
So
won't
you
fit,
grabbed
but
an
the
additional
badge will go
badge.
here.
Sure.
All right, so in that case, I think it's time to.
There were 4 goons, so I'll
Yep.
give it to you. I'll give that to you without even adding stress. That doesn't even need to be a flashback.
Mhm.
Beautiful. How about we make some command rolls or something as a group?
Sure, that sounds good.
All right,
who's
now.
who's taking lead of this group, and then we'll figure out how the rest of you are
Oh, I
supporting
think it
and
sounds
how
like Mr.
ridiculously
Rich
good
is
you
taking
do.
command.
Yeah.
Sure.
These have got to get moved right now. Load up there,
Sounds
or I'll
good,
take your
sounds
knees.
good. Excellent, excellent. So you're taking charge, and this sounds like you want to do a group activity for this.
I would
so that
love to
means
do a
for
group command.
everyone else who is assisting in this teamwork activity, please let me know how you do so. What do you do? You can do this through any abilities and skills that you have. You can you want to sneak around and steal someone's pants. You want to go grab some equipment. You want to help be convincing. You want to go poison people. You want to give them a whole bunch of powder to make them easily manipulated.
Oh yes,
Let me know what
actually, I
you would
could
do
that.
to assist in this.
I would like to
attempt
know-
get all of the workers on your side here.
I'd like to know if I can sneak off and see if there's anything else interesting to steal here.
Do you want to go rampage and go find other loots? That sounds like you're not helping with the group activity, but you're off to go see what else you can find.
It's entirely
Yeah,
possible.
I think that's a much smarter idea out of character to not shit where we eat. Go steal someone else's stuff and then give these guys all the stuff they paid us for, but steal everybody else's stuff too.
Sure. So you want to take a look around and see if there's something else in here of value quickly that you can find. Okay, so we're going to do that in a moment. That'll be sort of like a parallel scene. So you fade off into the shadows for a little bit, while perhaps the 4 of these folks try to take command. Who of the 3 who are not Mr. Rich wants to participate in taking command of the workers here?
I'll do it as well. Just once again with sway, just because
Sure, sounds good.
I did like, hey, these guys don't work here.
Yeah, so how are you trying to get them on your side? Are you going it's like,
Well,
oh my
we've-
gosh, such a good thing we got rid of the fake guards. We should get this out of here quickly. Or
Yeah, we need to relocate this stuff now, because
Okay, yeah.
it's been compromised.
Someone's trying.
Oh, I like this approach very much. Yeah, I've
It's
heard
been compromised,
someone's trying to
steal
steal
it.
this. We need to get
We
this
need
out
to
of here
move
right
it.
now.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds great. Roll me sway. Let's see. I feel like the position of this is standard, and the effect will be standard. We're gonna do an additional clock for not breaking and entering, but for extricating. Let's put that one below. This could be the escape clock.
Tasha has confirmed with me in PM that we are total bastards and might do some things with this loot.
Carry on. We'll see what happens.
So Eliza's gonna pull out just some powder,
hang on.
and she's just gonna. Oh, sorry.
So how did the roll go?
I got a 4 for mine.
You have a 4 for yours. So that means you succeed with a cost. So consequence on this one. To your worst position. I think I'm just gonna give it a reduced effect. So it just means this will make a little bit less progress towards the whole thing. And I'm not the most clear on how this works in a team role. I feel like maybe you shouldn't have an effect on it because I'm now rereading the rules. Never mind. Ignore this entirely. Carry on.
Okay,
So
so
your
what do we
highest number so far is a 4, right?
Yeah. Or I only
yeah.
got 1 dice, so yes.
Yeah, so remember that 4, you're all rolling together. There's no effects on this at all yet. Carry on.
Okay, is anybody
I
else
decided
helping?
to split it into multiple rolls.
Yes, Eliza's
trying
going
to-
to take some because I got three bandoliers as part of my loadout. So
Nice.
this one I'm just going to pull out some dream smoke, and it's gonna kind of just induce some mild, pleasant, almost intoxication effect on the workers, so they'll be very pliable and eager to listen to.
Sounds good. It sounds good.
Maybe
So
less
let's-
remembering of our faces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
Actually, no.
could be
Actually, I'll
very
use.
beneficial.
I want to choose the trance powder, which induces a pleasant hypnotic trance when inhaled. So I'm gonna try and.
Oh goodness.
hypnotize
Okay.
them.
So that feels maybe even like an additional effect as part of this. We're not helping to take command of them, but you're, or maybe you are.
I'm helping.
Is there a role
making
connected to it?
The one thing I don't know what role my poisons are.
Yeah, I'm not
Like-
sure either. They may. I mean, to be honest, they may simply not have one. You just have an effect that happens, and depending on how you attempt to administer the poison, there's probably a roll for it. Because perchance you're trying to convince someone to drink a mysterious vial, or you're trying to, like, you know, punch someone in the face with a mysterious vial. There's lots of stuff there. I think for this, why don't we? I feel like I want you to roll a die so that you can add to this group activity.
Yes.
So if you're doing it by using chemicals and all sorts of that stuff, this is a chemical that sounds like perhaps it is convincing them. So this could be an assisted convincing. I could see it being sway with a bonus die. I'm probably breaking the rules here. I'm also not really supposed to tell you what skill you're using. I'm just asking how you do it. But for how you do it, I'm not the most sure what skill that would be. Like, I feel like that might be the...
Yes, sway might work the best, I think.
Yeah. So you can sort of lean out to them and be like, hey, get a sniff of this to really get you motivated.
Yeah. Here, take a look at this.
Do some of this coke with us.
Yeah, you're feeling a little tired? Here, try this.
Okay, sure. So let's give that a go. And then, like, mechanically, I mostly just need to know how this impacts the overall attempt to command them. So far, our highest die is a 4, so let me know what you get.
All right, I'm going to do stress to add a die. Oh boy, I rolled 2 1s and a 2. So
2 1s and a 2.
Yeah.
You have a
Oh,
reroll.
goodness. Yeah?
Oh, I do have a reroll.
You do have a
I'm
reroll?
gonna spend that reroll. Thank you.
That's a good idea. Oh, that was such a nasty roll, too.
That was. All right, I have 6 and 2 5, so 6 is my highest.
So you have a 6. Okay, noted. So 6 is currently the highest. Mist, are you assisting with this in some way, shape, or form?
I have absolutely nothing in any shape or form regarding command, sway, socials of any sort.
That's where it's interesting, because it's a group activity. You don't have to, like, go try to convince them. You can do something to try to get them more on your side.
I can't
Something
think of
to
anything
support
that
the
I could
overall
contribute
design.
for that. So
What are your abilities? Like, what are your stats?
I'm a finesse and prowl only.
So finesse, like I sent you a PM about it, but you could potentially, like, be sneaking around and doing things to, like, hinder guard response.
Oh, elsewhere.
I don't know what I could be doing though. So
Locking
And
doors.
that can even be a
Locking
separate
doors.
task. Yeah, you can go around and lock the doors to keep the guards out of the area. That could be a setup roll for this
Okay.
roll. That would give this roll a bonus separately.
sure.
You could.
Yeah.
It just
you
didn't
could
seem like
be-
something that was actually like actively part of this
Mhm.
action.
Yeah, totally.
It's a
So just
separate,
like with
different
Tasha's,
action.
this could be a separate
I mean,
action that's happening.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
you
so
could
I'm
team
not
up
part
with
of the group
Tasha.
role.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you could
also
totally
That's
team
what
up
I'm
with
saying.
Tasha and do your own group role of finding cool stuff.
Okay, well, just you guys were working on this one,
Cool.
so I'm not part of
sounds
that.
good.
Yeah,
So
no, that
what
sounds
do I
good.
have? So for my part, what do I have to roll? Just my.
So you
my
roll
command?
however you try to do this. So it sounds like command.
And I just rolled. So I have command 2, so 2 dice.
2 dice sounds good. So currently the highest is a 6.
2, 2, and 2. I'm gonna spend
Okay,
that
so you
reroll.
still, go for it. Currently you've still done
oh.
quite well. You have a 6.
Oh, do we have a 6? Okay, so I spent that and I have a 1 and a 3. So
Okay. So then overall you're going to succeed at this. It just doesn't mean the one thing that would have been really nice is 2 6s, because your cool crew ability lets you get a crit from 2 separate people having a 6 on this particular kind of roll, which is freaking ridiculous. But a regular success with no complication is already pretty amazing, and that's what you got. So you will absolutely get a whole bunch of assistance from these union dudes who are really excited to help you move these crates to prevent them from being stolen. They're really quite worried about that. So they're thankful to you and your assistance as part of the security patrol. Yeah, they're proud to be a part of this important work. So, you two, are you going off together to look for stuff? Or are you going off separately to look for stuff?
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think I probably would have followed along behind.
well, also if you're like sneaky and you like can like sneak ahead and kind of double check the way is clear kind of thing,
Yeah,
And
no,
then-
totally.
we can figure out what we're looking for at some point.
So I mean, you can do this as a group action. You can do this as setting up Tasha's action. There's lots of different ways to do it.
Yeah, I'm thinking like if we're both looking for stuff.
Maybe you found something really cool and we're like,
Well, I
think
know
we
where that
should
other
probably check
storage
this
room
room.
is.
Ah.
If you have a bit more study and survey types thing, or could help with that, like we could kind of do that together.
Yeah.
do the kind of
Okay,
like
sounds
sneak
good.
in and like rifle that room together.
Yeah, it sounds good. So this sounds like it's a group roll.
Let's do it.
So you figured who is taking the leadership of this roll, and then the other person rolls first with however you are assisting.
I don't know. Do you want
What
to?
are we actually rolling for? This is like to find something, basically?
Sure,
Okay.
yeah, to sort
Yeah.
of rummage, I think.
Okay.
So what do you have for like, say, I don't know, study or survey?
I have one in each study and survey.
Same.
Okay.
So it doesn't really.
Yeah, so whichever you wishes to take the lead, go for it.
I
Yeah,
figured I
maybe
would try and
if
do
you're-
it, be like finesse or prowl, so being the sneaky
Sure.
part of it, because those I have 2 in.
Yeah, I mean, you could certainly just go like pick a whole bunch of locks and take a quick look at what's in them up in a storage room or something like that.
Get it all
And
ready
I could
so
certainly
that
assist with a survey or a study to see what's valuable to.
Yeah, exactly. To kind of
Yeah.
figure out if it's what we're looking for or not, kind of thing.
Yeah,
if
that
it's
sounds
if
good.
it's something that would be useful or not.
Okay,
sure. So who do we want to be primary? I guess.
I will flip a coin if y'all don't decide.
I don't know.
I mean, you have to get us into the thing, so go for it.
Okay, sounds good. So then you're.
So maybe
you're
I'm
the
supporting
assister?
Tasha then, and Tasha would be primary.
Okay, sure. Sounds
Let's
good.
do
So
that.
roll what you're doing to support this endeavor of looting
Just
and
one dice.
pillaging and investigating.
Oh.
So miss roll first if you're the assister.
I'm going to use, I think, finesse
Okay.
to rifle stuff. Maybe get it open so that
Yeah,
Sylvie
sounds
can
good.
then look over it all.
So
Sophia.
let's see how well you do.
Double 5s.
Okay, that's pretty freaking good. And how well do you do?
Just one dice, right?
Hmm?
Yeah, 4.
Or whatever your number is. 4. Okay, nice. So 5 is the highest. So that means success with a consequence or complication. I have a small idea.
Do we set off an alarm or something?
Yeah, I'm not gonna name this for y'all. Mystery clock.
Mystery clock.
Okay, I'm gonna tick up a mystery clock. I know what this clock means, but we're sharing a document and I don't want to reveal it to you at this point. So you rummage up there in that storage room that you came into before. You can get up there quite easily. The laborers around are all talking about some traitor guard that they're dealing with in the courtyard. I'm sure that's fine. You cause no problems at all for anyone. You go back into that room, and do you remember that strange tingling sensation that you had? You rummage through the crates a little bit, and you find it gets stronger and stronger. And one crate that you open, inside is a solid gold idol. This crate is rotted. The nails are basically falling out of the boards. You're quite impressed that it's been held together at all. But this thing looks really, really beautiful. It's got rubies for eyes. Like, it's kind of creepy and weird, but really fantastically well done. And it gives you one heck of an icky feeling. But holy cripes, is this going to be worth a lot of coin?
Let's steal the obviously cursed item.
Sounds good. They'll pocket the obviously cursed item. There's nothing else out here that seems immediately useful and valuable. The complication is a mystery, and you meander your ways into it. You can also try to resist complications. I think in this case, I don't know that it makes the most sense to do so, but you should be aware that you can try to resist complications. So if you get stabbed in an attempt to stab someone, you can resist it. It's a useful thing to do too. So you scoot back downstairs. These 3 have gotten a whole bunch of these union laborers to assist with moving the crates into the boat. By the time you get downstairs, you're basically ready to go. And you scoot your boots outside. You are still sort of in their territory in a boat full of a whole bunch of loot and crates. I think it may be a good idea to let me know how you're going to get out of this territory with a giant boat weighed down by crates.
That's what all our documents are for.
That's what all your documents are for? Okay.
I think we just take the long way, right? Just like row our boat.
Also, just totally like
all
cover them with
around.
some canvas, tie it down.
Sure, yeah. So you cover
Nothing
them
to
with some
see here.
canvas,
It's
you tie
ratty
it down.
looking.
Someone pulls on the ties and goes, "Oh, that's not going nowhere," which is the
I think
law.
that's kind of a cute
Yes,
approach,
it is.
actually.
Yep. Okay, so Cutter is the official
Mhm.
dad of the group. Got it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
of course.
With this
the
outfit,
most dadliest of dads.
Weird.
All right. So you take the long way out, and you can return safely back to your hideout. You are located not in the most accessible by water spot, although it's like a little park area. So if you take the long way around, let's say you go around to the north and then down the canal by the Salford Street Bridge. You go underneath there. As long as you stay on the far side of it, I won't make you roll for it. You can avoid the patrols and make it safely back by the boxing club and docked on the little tiny park there next to your lane with the home at the end of it. And you have a whole bunch of crates. What are you doing with these crates?
Well, this is where our friends have come to help us.
So I guess the question is, you're not planning to like run away with all of it. You actually want to go for payoff and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
We might skim a tiny bit off of it, but mainly pay him.
Okay, you're trying to skim a tiny bit off of it. I'll say in this case they don't know how much it is. I won't make you roll for that. You can skim a coin worth off of it.
Okay. I was about to say, like, do we know what we can skim off? Because, like, normally we need, like, fences and stuff to skim product.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm definitely
I feel like
skimming
you
a
can
couple
skim
coins
some that
and a bottle
you're
of
pretty
Leviathan blood.
You can skim some that you're pretty confident you can. Oh, a bottle of Leviathan blood might be a more complicated thing to skim. Those are large. There's only, I think there's
But the cloak
basically
is
one
for.
large bottle per crate. So you might have to do some justifying for why there are only 2 bottles here. If you want
We
to go for a
broke one.
bottle of
Oh,
Leviathan
no.
blood.
What happens when they break?
Obviously,
I would
Gosh,
say,
you don't want to do that.
I don't think we'll
there.
say we broke it. It wasn't
We
there.
had to bribe one of the guards with one.
No,
they don't know
I-
that it wasn't there.
Sure.
Well,
So,
yeah, they don't know how
let's,
many were there.
Yeah, we
We don't know
wanna
what was in
admit,
there.
We don't want to admit that we saw and found 3. Don't want to
So,
start off.
never
with-
admit
so
information.
narratively, we're sort of at
But
the,
if
the
they
payoff
accuse
section
us,
here. So
It just
let's
wasn't
do-
there.
There was
They must have
only
moved
2.
it
Yeah.
separately.
It wasn't not.
I love this. I'm gonna make y'all do a group.
There was
roll
a new
in
god
moment
on
here.
duty. He probably did it.
Yeah, no.
So
Yeah, the new guy.
That
took
one
it.
guy, he got in trouble for stealing while we were there.
I guess the question that I have: do these folks go to your hideout to do this exchange, or are you going back to the boxing ring to trade off there?
One
we
of us
probably
should
had
go to the
a-
boxing ring to indicate that we have a boat full of shit that they should come acquire from
Okay,
our
that
boat.
sounds good.
I
That
think we
sounds
have
good. So
a
that-
third meeting spot or something where they
Yeah.
come take it off our
Just
hands.
like some little
We go to our
secluded
third
dock.
place, Starbucks.
Yeah.
Sure, sounds great. So you
Guy
go
fire
catch up
coffee.
with
Sorry, Stardogs.
Baliol and his various legions of goons, the smuggling bros, and they know exactly where you mean. They use the same dock to smuggle their own stuff. They'll meet you down there in an hour or so after you come and touch base with them. And they arrive. You know, super lean, shark-faced man and his muscly bros in weird masks and robes. Sort of an interesting set of looks. I have a couple of leading questions, unfortunately. So you have these crates are on the boat. What have you done with the idol?
I think we probably stashed that back in our.
So you took it back to your house?
Unless we have a separate hiding place for goods and stuff.
We didn't pay for one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then yeah, I mean, where else would it be?
Okay, sounds good. So
Along with our pilfered, like,
they're there
coins
for the
and Leviathan
payoff.
blood.
It sounds like you're trying to fib your way into stealing a little bit of the monies, while the old monies you'll have to convert to current monies by melting it down and giving it to someone, and a full-on bottle of Leviathan's blood. And so I think you're going to attempt to convince them that you have not ripped them off here and that they should still like you and not stab you.
Look at all this
Who is
gold.
taking the lead in this convincing attempt here?
Who has the best sway?
I have 2 for sway.
I think it's Silver then.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
Yep,
sounds
yep.
good.
All right.
So
you
how are the rest of you
gents.
helping? Let's try to be pretty snappy on it because we've
Was
got
there
a
a
time
sweet
limit. And there's one more
consort
silly thing
in
I want to
Sway?
do. I'd have to pull up the list again. One moment.
Yeah, I thought I knew, but now I'm like,
So consort is socializing with friends and contacts, and sway is influencing with guile, charm, or an argument.
all right. Well, I would like to also use consort to help them.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good. You've chummed up with some of these guys. You're like, oh yeah, this was such a nice job.
Buy
Thank
a
you for
couple
putting this over this."
drinks.
Okay, so roll it. Let me know your highest. Anyone else who is assisting?
I'll also probably try and sway them too.
Sure. So roll it. Let me know your highest.
5.
Okay.
Now, is there a way I could like apply finesse or something like that to that? Of like,
Totally, because you can like adjust the layout of the thing to try to make it look more convincing that there was never a third bottle.
yes.
You can,
Okay,
like,
I will totally do that.
There's tons of ways to assist with this using different skills.
I got a
you're
4.
gonna like make it look more convincing. There was a nice giant dust pattern of a third bottle there
I
originally
got a
that has
6.
now been erased. You have a 6, brilliant.
I got a 4.
You have a 4, okay. So the highest so far is a 6, and we only have 1 of those. Are you
Alright.
assisting Eliza?
I thought I was taking command.
Yeah.
On the
You're taking command.
roll.
Sorry, never mind.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Are you assisting Mr. Rich?
Is there a way to do that using survey?
Sure. I don't see why not. How would you do it using survey? So
I
surveying
haven't.
is when you're observing the situation and anticipating outcomes.
Getting ready for it to go bad.
Yeah, like
ba-
making sure we have an escape route or something, or
Yeah, basically just I think that, but I'm not sure how that would help the roll. I don't think it would.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I think that, or maybe.
What about
survey-
having kind of pre-done survey so you figured out what the likely options are and thus help Silver with her arguments prior to meeting up with them?
That's probably How
Yeah.
about that?
Sure,
Does
that
that work
sounds
for you?
good.
or like just make sure
Flashback.
that the area was clear so everyone feels like safe and secure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can make a lot of sense as well. Yeah. Make sure it's laid out really nicely. They've got like a clear
Everyone
path to
feels
come
like they're
down.
not going to get like
You've
you know
already
like those
even, like,
trade-offs
ensured
where
the-
it's like okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
use
give
the
me thing.
Hornberger method.
Give me the thing.
There
Okay,
we go.
that sounds good. That sounds good.
The first one is like a mundane thing that they wanted stolen. The second thing is like a bad thing they wanted stolen. The third one's the one with like the missing bit, but the fourth one's the one with the really expensive stuff. So that's the only one they remember. Or wait, no, the third one's the only one they remember.
Yeah,
that's
the third
right.
is the only one.
It
I
goes
remember.
1, 2, and then
Sounds good.
4 is mundane again, so that you look back on the third. Right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the Hornberger
That's
method.
Alright.
the Hornberger method.
Sounds great. So roll that. Let me know your highest.
30 rock. 6 and a 1.
Okay, brilliant. So we are already at a critical success on this one.
Woo.
Roll your leadership for it. Let's see how well you do.
Nope, I rolled a 5, so we got the 2
Well, I mean,
sixes.
a 5 is still fantastic. You're
It is
rolling
pretty
so
good.
good at this. Christ, this is like why your crew choice was so impactful, because the distance between like a success and no consequence and a flying success is amazing.
Yeah.
So there's like stats for this was risky. It had a standard level of sway and stuff that it could do. I will mark those things in notes. But they fully believe you. Their intel must have been wrong. They heard that there were 3 bottles, but they're really glad that you got all of this in. It looks like everything is here. They're so excited to have been doing work with you. They're going to give you the 4 coin promised and a bonus coin. So you are now at
Nice.
6 coin. And they are also I'm going to mark it on your sheet here. The sheet's sort of obnoxious to mark in. I'm going to mark it over here instead. Coin 6. They're also now real big fans of you, so they're going to get +1 reputation.
Woo.
Nice, nice, nice.
Nice,
So?
nice.
Job very, very, very well done. Y'all
Excellent.
head back. Where I guess where are you going now?
Probably back home to discuss the job and plan our next moves.
Get
Sure,
cursed.
that sounds good.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
head
mean,
back home, discuss your jobs, plan your next
Eliza's-
moves, get cursed.
Probably gonna tinker and make some more potions because I can actually roll for that in downtime.
Okay, that sounds good to me. So on your way home, your lookout. Tell me about your lookout. I can roll for them randomly.
Our
There.
lookout is a scrawny boy who is
I
like a
have
teenager.
Bowden Hicks.
There we
Okay.
go.
Is that like a good name? Bowden
Sounds
Hicks
great.
is scrawny in like a little like uniform. Okay.
Do you have a little suit and tie for him too?
Yeah, he's
No,
like a
it's not a
page boy.
very good uniform, but like yeah, exactly, like a page boy.
Paper
uniform.
boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Very
that
good.
sounds perfect. So as you're on your way approaching back to your secret lair, the house at the end of the street, Bowden runs towards you. A little bit of what looks like blood on his face. He's gonna grab you first, Mr. Rich, because you're the biggest, chonkiest one. And he says, Mr. Rich, there's trouble. He's like pulling on your jacket.
All right, well, let's go see what the trouble is, Dan.
y'all look up and you see, before you even arrive, hang on, I gotta pull up the page again. I don't remember the name of one of these things. Dun, 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 dun. Where's my notes? I have too many notes for this. It's 210. Do. There we go. So as you start approaching your home, you're down the end of a secluded lane, but there's a couple of other homes here. You see hovering ominously near your lair a Death Seeker crow.
A what?
Someone has died here.
Oh.
Oh.
What do you do? It's basically right over top of your lair.
Let's go.
Once you're not light.
No time like the present.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna kind of hang back a little bit, but yeah.
All right. So you approach back home. Your lair it's got a bit of a tavern on it. How are you planning to enter? Do you just walk in the front door?
Sneakily.
Yeah, just open the door and go, oh, what's this then?
Sounds good. So you burst up in the front door to say, oi, what's this then? And in the midst of your tavern is a small collection of individuals wearing golden robes and masks. One of them is holding the idol that you stole and is very clearly dead. His skin has boiled. He's turned into a puddle of slime on the floor. And the other individuals, I think 6, so there's 5 of them that are up and functional, are sitting around in a circle around this body in the shape of a pentagram, chanting in a language none of you understand.
Oi!
I'm gonna get my pistols ready.
Are these the
Sounds
same
good.
people who we just worked with, or?
Not at all. You've never seen these people at all.
Okay.
You're gonna be cleaning that up then.
As you get their attention, they will start rising to their feet as one and drawing literal short swords.
That sounds great. I'm gonna employ my fine large weapon, which is
Okay.
a collapsible pool cue style sledgehammer he keeps in his jacket.
What?
Amazing.
So
So these cultists will get up in dramatic unison, like, oh. You're like, one moment.
one
They
moment, please.
pause for a moment as you're doing your thing.
Margie's gonna have a throwing knife. Or Mister's gonna have a
Sounds
throwing
good.
knife now in her hand.
So y'all grab your weapons and get ready to do.
Actually, what is an unusual weapon? What would that be classified as?
Unusual weapon. I guess it's kind of up to you. What feels like an unusual weapon to you?
So an unusual weapon could be like a brick on a string, like
Yeah, absolutely.
like a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. It can be a
Grenade sweat would be very useful right now.
I don't. If I say it, I know you're gonna take it, so I'm not gonna say what's in my head right now.
Oh, come on.
No, you're not using a batleth. I'm sorry, but like a double-bladed sword, like dumb, weird stuff where you're like,
Sword chucks.
why? Yeah, nunchucks would be weird.
A lead
No,
ball
sword
and a sock.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a sock full of
Okay,
coins from
so-
various provinces.
We have a little bit of time on this. We want to try to power
Chocolate
through as quick as we
stolen
can.
coins.
So let's go through the rushing at you. You came in here first, Mr. Rich. So you are the first target. The one of them closest to you at the very tip of the pentagram lowers their sword towards you. You can't see their face. They're wearing a fully black mask. There's no like outline you can see at all. It's like one of those cheap Halloween masks you can see through one side of, and there's like a mesh covering so you can't see in. But they lunge towards you with their sword aiming directly for your throat. What do you do?
Well, I'm not gonna let that happen. I think I like my throat pretty well. Also, good luck
Big fan,
finding it
big
on this
fan.
guy.
Well, they seem slightly confused in their aim, but they're going for slightly below your nose.
That's fair. I think they're going to find that I'm not to be trifled with.
Oh dear,
Not to
oh
be
dear.
rifled with?
Not to be rifled or trifled. That I can use this to fight an entire small gang on equal footing.
What?
So I don't take penalties to fight a gang.
What?
So I could use it for that. But I guess we're all here, so let's have some fun. He's coming in with a sword.
Mm-hmm.
Can I catch his hand as it comes in? But you swing wide, and I'm just gonna throw him like. I get superhuman
I think
strength.
you can
so-
still do this as a feat of superhuman strength.
Don't reach with the bow.
Oh, can I just punch his sword and break it? Or
That sounds
Yeah.
hilarious.
or no,
Yes.
or it just breaks when it hits me. Either way.
Like, I guess let's see what feels appropriate to you. So, do you want to try to grab it or grab them and throw them who knows where, or?
Superhuman force? I think I'm just gonna step into it and have it break.
Okay, sounds good. I do feel like that's a pretty ridiculous feat. I'm not even sure if there's necessarily a role that makes sense for this. I mean, they stab you in the sword.
No,
it
it just
does not.
I do one thing this combat, and it's gonna be to break his damn sword when it hits me.
I think that's hilarious. So, just for the four of you, the image here, the cultists rise up. The first one points a sword directly at Mr. Rich's throat, points it down slightly, and goes to run him through. And the sword sort of bends a little bit like it's made out of plastic and shatters into shards of, cheap and crude iron. You can't see their face, but they look like they're probably extremely startled. There we go. I combined two words, didn't work at all. Startled and stunned. Don't combine those words. They don't work. The other four of them, however, conveniently choose the other four of you, one each.
I'm not here.
You're not here.
No.
Where are you?
I said I was hanging back.
You're hanging back. That's
Because
right.
I noticed all these clues outside that led me to indicate that these people were after my totem.
Okay. So are
With
you
no
hanging
paying
back?
for my cursed
Maybe
item.
we're gonna cut to you in a moment. So you're hanging back a little bit. You're like, you sort of slow your space a little bit. You know these four have got it covered if something goes wrong, but you feel there might be something behind this. You have to see what's happening. So, yes. Who of the three of
Stay
you
out of
takes
them.
action first? All of you, someone lunging you with a sword. Sure, Liza, what do you do?
I got one more bandolier. So she's going to take she's gonna take the drown powder and she's just
Oh
gonna
my goodness.
blow it at the one that's coming at her, and incapacitates the person by giving them the sense of drowning. So he's suddenly gonna feel like he's drowning, or she
Sure,
or they.
that sounds good.
that,
That sounds
that
horrifying.
In the interest of time, I will not make you roll on this one. I think you can just blow powder.
Yeah.
We'll say that works. So you blow the powder, and they immediately drop to their knees and start gasping for air and clutching at their throat. They're going to rip
Eliza
their
will-
mask off, actually, trying to breathe a
Ooh.
little bit better, and you'll get a face of someone nearly unidentifiable because it is covered in leprosy.
Oh. Eliza's gonna reach down for the blade and go, "Oh, that's quite nice," and I'll keep it
It is
myself.
quite nice. Over to the left, however, Mist, you are tangling with an opponent. What do you do?
I would like to dodge backwards and throw a knife in their face.
Dodge backwards and throw a
Nice.
knife? Okay.
Yeah. I feel like that's a adequate response to this affront.
Yeah, I think so.
So skirmish?
Yeah, I think skirmish.
All right. So I think I've got one die of that, so that gives me one die, right?
That's true. I will say this is risky with regular stakes.
Okay. So I
never remember the
could
terms
push
for what
stress.
the effect is. I'm calling it stakes even though I mean
Oh.
effect. I don't remember what the terms are.
Can I push myself and
Within
maneuver to
standard
confuse your
terms.
enemies so they mistakenly attack each other? With my
Goodness
special
gracious,
ability.
can you ever do it?
Okay, so how does pushing myself work?
So pushing yourself typically costs 2 stress.
Okay.
I do like powers with cooldowns like that. That's good.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so 2 stress. And do I still roll skirmish?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so doing the 2 stress gives me an extra die for skirmish as
I think it just changes the outcome. So I will
Okay.
say that this will make your effect great.
because you choose one of the following additional benefits. Okay. That is a 5.
Okay, sounds good. So that'll be with consequence. But
I
think the
maneuver
easy
so that they-
complication.
Attack each other. So I think I like shift, roll, maybe like acrobatic a bit between people, and as they're
Okay,
trying to attack,
sounds
so they
good.
come down on each other.
I think the easy complication on this one, and I'm sorry to do this to you, they're going to nick you a little bit as you dodge out of the way, just because you want them to try to stab you so they can stab the other one. So you will take a small amount of harm. I don't have the list of harms in front of me, but you're just going to only take 1 level of harm here.
Okay.
You've been nicked.
So-
You could be nicked there if you want to.
Yeah.
The way that harm works is you fill out each level as you go, and if you fill in another 3 when you don't have a spot to put another 3, you're in big trouble.
All
But
right.
this is a very minor cut. You've just been nicked. You're doing just fine. And all
Where
right,
does that get marked on the sheet?
whereas
Where does that get marked?
it gets marked under, so just underneath stress, there's harm, where there's like a 3, a 2, and a 1, and then it shows the outcomes here.
So,
So the only
you
outcome
fill in
for a
level
harm of
1
one.
twice.
Nick or something?
Yeah, so you have 2 level 1s you can fill
Okay.
in, then 2 level 2s you can fill in, and level 3 you can only fill in 1 before you overflow
What do you
it and
fill
get
them
into
in with?
trouble.
Like just the description?
The circumstance. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
In this case, it's a
basically
level
like
1
that.
harm that let's just call nicked.
not just numbers.
So what this does is it just makes you a little bit less effective in some circumstances because you've been nicked. I don't think it'll matter too much at the moment, but you got nicked. However, this dude is going to stab directly into the back of the person who attempted to stab Mr. Rich. They're going to be very startled about this, and that one is very, very much down.
So
What
the,
are you up to, Unlucky?
the one that's attacking me, I'm going to use my pair of fine pistols and try and kneecap him.
Goodness gracious. Okay, that sounds good.
So I'll probably roll hunt for that, or
I think hunt. Wait, hunt tracking primarily, isn't it?
get for that.
I feel like page is that like 50 something?
Fight a formal duel. Yeah, it is hunt. You're right. It's attack with precision shooting from a distance. Yep. So use hunt for it. You're not really at much of a distance, but I'll give it to you.
Okay, and do I want to take stress or a devil's bargain just to make sure I hit this? It's a one-off, so I'll do a devil's bargain.
Okay, sounds good. To pull up what how that works mechanically, because it is not in my notes. I just wrote down devil's bargain, and I was like, tomorrow me will definitely remember exactly how that works. I think it's just a significant consequence.
Like shooting the idol as well, or something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you shoot the guy, but blood gets on the idol, and then Cthulhu shows up and is
I
where's
think
my
it means
money?
it is a
I
exactly.
told you not to
So-
feed the idol blood
This
after
is
dark.
Very convenient because you're a reckless scoundrel. Essentially, what this does is means the devil's bargain will occur regardless of the outcome of the roll, but this will give you +1 die to it, making this as always a free choice. And I will say the devil's bargain here. Do I tell you what this is going to be?
I would say you wait until after I roll.
Say 2 weeks of devil's bargain. Devil's bargain include. Yeah, so this will be collateral damage.
Okay. I got a 5. It was my
Got a
highest.
5. Okay, that sounds great. So you're gonna blast the sucker right in the kneecaps. However, one of them will ricochet and hit the idol square in the face, cracking it open a little bit, causing some of that shimmering gold to flake off and revealing the tiny child's skeleton within. That's probably bad. A spooky, inky, black sort of smoke starts pouring out of it. The goons here are all going to book it and start running. Those of them that can. I don't know if y'all move to stop them or not.
Yeah, I'm gonna start kneecapping with the sledge.
Okay, awesome. So you try to stop them from escaping, and the narrative camera will maneuver itself outside to Zilf. Zilf.
But luckily, Zilf had been paying attention to this, investigating this thing kind of while we were setting up this handoff, and was getting worried that something like this might happen.
Mm-hmm. And you held back to take a look around because you wanted to see what the bigger picture was here. That's your role. You're the big picture seer. That's what you do. As you stand around
guys
outside.
an escape route or something.
Mm-hmm. Some of them are trying to scrabble outside. It looks like the rest of your team are making easy work of them, to be honest. You definitely have at least one person you'll be able to interrogate afterwards to see exactly what happened. But gazing across the rooftops of the nearby houses, you will actually catch a glimpse of a very familiar face. Stitch, the primary goon of the dudes who sent you on this heist, is standing across the rooftop in his giant dramatic mask and robes, and a couple more of these road followers are with him. They don't seem to notice you, but when they see that things are not going well, they slink away into the shadows. Dun, dun, dun. Also, I think we're out of time, aren't we?
We can go another 10 if needed.
Another 10 if needed.
If-
Well, why
if-
don't we talk a little bit and do some of that stuff? But I think we can move towards pausing here. We've got a little
sounds
bit of
good.
a nefarious, we'll see what happens next sort of moment. It means we're not doing as much downtime stuff as I had hoped, and we definitely sort of violated the rules to accelerate some clocks to make some combat happen at the end, because I wanted
it's
y'all
all
to do
good.
that.
Yeah.
But I think that was pretty darn entertaining
I
to
think
run.
we won
Thank
too
y'all
well
for
for this.
playing it. Y'all did ridiculously good, yes.
I was not expecting, hey, he's not a guide, to actually work.
I think that was
So
one of
well.
my favorite moments of this, that y'all were just like, the three of you walk around the corner and you go face to face with the newbie guard, and you're like, well, clearly we're disguised as guards, and this guy's not a real guard.
Yeah,
Get him
clearly
out
this
of
guy's
here.
newer than us.
Get him out.
We all know each other, therefore we've been here a while.
Yeah, of course, of course. You're
Of
clearly the
course.
most trustworthy of guards in this whole darned warehouse. So the outcomes of this are going to be a pretty nasty hit to your status with the dockers, to no surprise at all. An angry dockers clock will increase. As if we were to do a second session, I think things would be pretty significantly impacted by the stuff that y'all got up to here. You have made friends with a cult. You have got a bunch of dock worker unions very upset with you. You've become a lot closer with the smugglers. However, their underling is perhaps secretly at the head of this cult. And who knows what the heck would happen in episode 2 of whatever the heck series we just started here. But I had a lot of fun
Uh-huh.
running with this, and I find it a really interesting system to do. There's a bit of like getting our heads around it.
Yeah.
But I think we did okay, considering we're all quite new to it.
Considering we're all quite
I-
experienced with the
Yeah,
traditional
exactly.
system.
Mhm.
Yes, the linear format. It's interesting to do a non-linear game.
Yeah,
I just love
think so
anything that
too.
doesn't punish you for stuff you couldn't have possibly known, but in character, your character would have known.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
would've-
I think that's a fantastic improvement, because so often in D&D, and I'm in like a couple of D&D games right now, we get into that situation with folks who are like, oh, well, I mean, my character totally would have done this, and the DM's like, well,
You didn't say
okay,
it,
but
though.
you didn't.
Yeah,
So
no,
now
but
it's like,
heist,
how
I think
does
heist
this
is
happen?
the exact right setting for this, because like I've been
Mhm.
trying to think of writing a heist game for ages, and I haven't done it because I just like, the thing about heist movies is that you have all these characters who are so experienced that they of course predicted all these things that would happen, but
Of
if your
course, of
players can't do that, their character can't do it, no matter how many dots they have on their sheet.
Well,
So-
to do a proper
Mhm.
heist, the reveal's always at the end.
Mhm.
Exactly.
You go
yeah.
through the base thing with stuff looking like it's going wrong.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden you
Right.
do a retroactive flashback at the end saying, oh, well, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
Oh.
But
we
the problem is when you're
clearly
trying
were
to play
disguised as
through
guards
it,
the whole time.
it's kind of hard because
Yeah.
So in our homebrew games on Dork Tales, I use a tool, Tasha, called the bargain a lot. And it can be used for that as well. Basically, it's a coin on the table. And when people say like, oh, I want to use the bargain, I flip the coin to the other side. That allows them to cheat. Like to like, oh, I get an extra 10
Retro.
feet of movement. My spell, I can upcast at a level. I heal 5 hit points or something. Like they do a little tweak that keeps them in the action and makes it more fun for them.
Yeah.
But then I do things that make it worse. Like, okay, cool. But now the
Right.
enemy gets an extra attack this round in their sequence.
Oh, I
Or
like it.
I'm gonna re-roll that
Yeah,
dice
okay.
because I wanted another chance at a crit, and then it goes back to them. So there's a give and take. It's almost
Yeah,
like
double or
the force
nothing.
tokens. Well, yeah, but it
Mhm.
means that you can do things to introduce plot elements too. You're like, oh, you mean this gun? You know,
Yeah, I think that's quite a cute mechanic, actually.
it's
That
really
solves
simple.
a lot of potential shenanigans with D&D. Okay, so we probably should start maneuvering towards saying who the heck we were, where to find us, and any final thoughts you want to share about this game, about Extra Life, or about your star sign, or taste in bubblegum or trucks. Why don't we go backwards this time? So, Christine, this means that we're starting with you.
Wait, me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Hi, I was Christine. I am Christine.
You will be
Still,
again.
I remain to be Christine.
You were missed.
Christine is exhausted. Christine was up to midnight, later than
Mhm.
midnight last night. Yeah, you can find me as Lady Liliana on Twitch, TikTok, Twitter, And of course on Dork Tales on a regular basis. In God, what am I in now? Netherdeep, Shards, Mage. I think is that
Goodness
Victorian?
gracious.
You're just in a couple.
It's just been a couple, really,
Just
not very
one or
many.
two. Just one or two.
Just a
Oh
few.
my gosh.
I paint myself green on a regular basis, so now,
Which is pretty fun to do.
which, funnily enough, it doesn't 100% come off when you first do it.
Oh no.
It does tint your skin slightly in some places.
I
This
found
is
that.
good to know.
So, did you try using a scrub and a cleanser at back to back in the shower? Because that worked really well for me, even with my beard. We'll talk
used-
after game.
A makeup
I was gonna
remover,
say, this
a
is
makeup
the
remover
real
wipe,
costuming tips.
soap, scrubbies, and a shower, and it still
Well,
is not off.
We'll talk in a minute, and I'll show you what I was
Yeah,
using,
yeah.
and it was good.
All right, awesome. Do you have any final thoughts on game stuff for Extra Life? Are you good to go?
Come back for the last one tonight.
Sure.
Are you running it?
No, I'm in it though.
Okay, well that's still quite exciting. I will definitely be there, at least
And
in the
it's
chat,
Star Trek.
cheering y'all on. Yes.
So,
All right, Tasha, who are you? Where can we find you? How you doing? Do you
Hi,
have any more
everyone.
thoughts you want to share?
I was playing Zilf today. My name is Natasha, and you can find me all over the internet, including here on Twitch at Natasha Tuskovich Designs, where I stream co-working and a bunch of creative stuff like art and writing and fashion design. Right after this, don't go anywhere. We have Batman coming up, and it's Batman villains kind of rogues gallery D-list kind of every character you've never heard of. And yeah, it's going to be a wild ride. So stay tuned for that. And it's going to be really
That
fun.
sounds like so much fun. I cannot wait to watch it. Jacob, who are you? How are you doing? Where can we find you? And also other additional questions.
Hi, I'm Jacob.
You're being
Crimson
interrogated now.
Cosplay here on Twitch. I will also be in the next game, which should be a lot of fun. So please come watch. You can even donate to make special characters appear.
Whatever you want.
Ooh.
I'm doing good, and yeah, just excited for Batman.
Batman. I'm excited for that too. All right, Robin, same questions. Who do you work for? Who are you? Where can we find you? Interrogation time.
Hello, I'm Robin, who is playing Silver. But you can find me as Second Gen Gamer on Twitch. But I'm usually mostly here on Dork Tales because I am in an obscene amount of games like Strixhaven, Netherdeep, Shards, Mage. I think that's
More.
it for now. And more. I'm in lots. Yeah, it's been fun. I actually really like this system. I would love to have
I want to
more
play
than
this
a-
again. I want to play this character again.
I want more than a one
Mhm.
shot of it because I'd love to
Mm.
like some of the mechanics are really good and I'd love to see the actual like the crew area get more utilized. 'Cause I think that's a really cool mechanic. But
I
yeah,
think
this
so
has been a
too.
lot of fun. Thanks for running this.
I love the
And
flashback.
thank you for joining me with it. I mean, honestly, it was the crew mechanic that had me sold over on switching my plan, because my original plan for this was to run a sort of a standard one shot, sort of squished into Blades in the Dark mechanics wise. And I was like, this doesn't seem like it's giving the mechanics justice, and I really want to see a lot of the stuff fleshed out and see what they come up with. So we went for that
See it in
instead.
action.
So I'm glad y'all enjoyed that as much as I did. Kelly, who the heck are you? Where can we find you? Who do you work for? What's your favorite flavor of star signs? I have no idea.
My favorite flavor of star signs? That sounds very, very erotic.
You know, don't worry
Uh,
about it.
That's right. Hey, I'm Kelly. This is Dork Tales. This is kind of my thing. So nice to see you there. Thanks for watching and for donating, everybody. Now that I've taken that jacket off, I feel like I'm like myself 20 minutes ago's son in appearance. Like taking that shit off. Oh, it feels so good to have a neck again. Oh, that was
Wait,
fun.
I can turn
Thanks.
off the dramatic video filter. Regular. I guess I turned all my warm lighting off now, though, didn't I? Yeah, let's do. Oh no, it's wrong way. You know, I should have left the gum filter on. I could have been gummy. There we go. All right.
Good. All right, all you.
Awesome. So hey, y'all, thank you very much for joining me on this adventure. I really am so glad that y'all chose this game for the games that we put up to run. Oh my gosh, Jacob.
Because Honey Heist chat was
Such
talking
a-
about, and that
such a
was one of our
gremlin.
options we considered.
Yeah, we looked at doing Honey Heist or Lady Blackbird, and I think this was a really, really fun option to choose. I'm glad to hear that y'all had fun with this. I would so love to do more Blades in the Dark at some point in the future. I'm really, really, really enjoyed this. I'm so thankful for all of you in the audience to be joining us here and helping to support Extra Life and this cause that is really, really important. It means an awful lot to me personally because I spent a lot of my childhood in a hospital. I am Bunny Hearted. You can find me wherever bunnies are found at twitch.tv/Bunny Hearted and on Twitter and all of those various places where I'm a cozy, comfy VTuber. And just ignore that you can see my face. I'm violating the sacred VTuber oath right now. It's fine. I should have put on a dramatic mask, but alas, I did not. Also, it's like 36 degrees right now, and I kind of want to die. So I'm going to go put a popsicle like directly on my forehead and settle in to the audience for the next game.
Nice.
Enjoy that.
All right, so that's going to be it for Blades in the Dark. Thank you so much for running, and stick around. We'll be right back with Batman Showdown at the Villy Awards. So don't go anywhere. That's in 22 minutes. Thank you so much for running, Millie.
Right.
It was a lot of fun.
Love y'all. Take care.
Yes,
Have a good one.
More Blades in the Dark later. Bye, everybody.
Oh, really?
Bye-bye.
Maybe. I don't know. Oh
I don't
no!
know.
You have to at this point.
I kind of.
I do love the idea of an ongoing thing, like just for how much it changes each.
I would
session.
like this group is also. I love this fucking group. So if you guys want to do ongoing,
I do
We'll
think
talk
all of
about
you
that.
are fantastic. We can plot and scheme on it later.
All right, and we'll talk about that soon, but it'll be secret. Bye, everybody.